take. The take. We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The take. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The take. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The take. The take. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The take. The take.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The take.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The take. The take.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, we ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The take. The
Shut
take.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape,
The
bro.
take.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The take.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The take.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Wednesday evening. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's butterflies. I think what it is, guys, I think it's my body recognizing that it's go time. It's like week 0. I don't have a game to go to this Saturday. I'm going to be sitting out mainlining college football. I don't know what it is, but I feel the goosies in my tummy. I feel the butterflies flapping around. Do you guys have, like, it's around the corner feelings?
Yes.
You get that going on right about now?
Yeah, not butterflies, but definitely excitement. Like
you don't get
excitement.
like anticipatory nerves for the start of the college football season?
Not for week 0.
I do, but not from week 0. Week 0 is like the appetizer where you're like, oh, the food's coming. The main course is coming. You don't get the nerves from it yet.
All right. Welcome in. We got a great one for you guys tonight. It is What If Wednesday here on the network as week 0 approaches. Our second Wednesday show of the season. That's how you know it's time to go. You guys love the keys to the game segment, the way too early preview of that Ohio State-Texas game. So we're going to be bringing you another one tonight in what is a loaded week 1 matchup, coming up this next weekend. All right. We're also going to give you our Heisman picks tonight. We're going to look at the odds, try to give you some good plays. I think I got some good ones tonight. I got a plus 10,000 odds play I'm going to give you out tonight. I think we're going to get somebody to hit on that one. But most importantly, it's We Up Wednesday. All right. Look, I am not someone that likes to blow smoke up the butt of the college football fan. Okay, I'm not one of these people that is able to just make you feel warm and fuzzy all the time about your favorite football team. It's not what we normally do around here. But tonight, I don't like to sell false hope, but tonight, I'm going to go through almost every important football program, and I'm going to tell you why you should be bullish on this season. I'm going to tell you why you should be happy about what is about to go down and transpire in the 2025 football season. I feel like this would be a good opportunity, boys, to just get the chat hyped. Anybody that showed up today is going to leave feeling good about their football program. Even you, Auburn fan, tuning in tonight to hate watch my big-headed butt. Welcome in. It's a great one. Let's start with Texas. Why should Texas fans, boys, be really, really excited about the 2025 college football season?
Oh, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
For probably about 10 to 15 years, you heard Texas is back, Texas is this, they're back, all of these things. You were made fun of it. It's happened now. You are the epicenter of college football. Your quarterback is a star, and I don't think he started 3 games. You have one of the top head coaches in the country. You have a very good defense. Your brand is everywhere. You're in Bud Light commercials now. Like, all of these things. Texas is officially
Hell, Sonic,
back.
an Oklahoma-based companies out here with Texas Longhorn ads.
I mean, like, this is the Texas football that fans have dreamed of and hoped for since 2009.
Kirby, they've waited almost 2 decades. It's been really, really long for Texas Longhorn fans to be up like this, man. It's the time. It's the time to go win a title with the window of the quarterback that you have, right? You got the quarterback. You got the coach. Lord knows you got the defense. Got an elite player at each level of the defense, right? You got a run game. We know that about Sark's offense, and Lord knows you got the schedule. All right, if we could pick any SEC schedule to take, most people are taking yours. All right, so all stars aligning for Texas, but most importantly, this is why I think Texas fans should be bullish. Y'all have taken your lumps. Y'all have gone through the heartbreaks. I think every champion has to go through some of these struggles sometimes, right? We know Ohio State's gone through them. We watched Michigan walk through them in 2020, 2021, 2022 to crack it in 2023. We watched Georgia struggle and go through it, all right? You've gone through these struggles. 2 years in a row, you've gone through heartbreaks, being on the precipice of it. Hey, this might be yours.
I think that it's more so for me, it's about like the variety of options that you have in the offense. You get back C.J. Baxter in the running back room, but you also bring back Wisner as well in that running back room, who was a great option for them last season. Arch can not only throw it, but he can add in on the run game when you need him to. Not that you really want him to, considering that you really want to protect him this season as well. And then the wide receiver room, I think you have a lot of solid options there. Maybe not as many as you did last year, or like assertive answers going into the season that you did last year, but there's a variety of ways that this offense can attack you. And on top of that, you have Steve Sarkisian calling the shots.
Look, it's been several decades since Texas was recruited year in, year out at this rate. All right, so this is probably, you're probably going into a year as a Texas fan going, we got a lot to replace. Welcome to the life of a top 3 recruiter. It's peel and replace at most of these places when you recruit at this level. Any other reasons why Texas should be bullish on this season?
You've got 2 of the best defenders in the conference, and Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill, too, on
Absolutely.
top of that. So despite the fact that there are questions on the defensive line, I mean, you bring back 2 of the college football's best defenders.
I'm looking at a Super Chub right now, and he knows what he's doing. It ain't happening. Penn State. Talk to me. Now, this is where, this is really outside of our comfort zone because nobody really here thinks Penn State's about to win a national title. Hey, not tonight.
Stop that.
We up tonight. Let's go.
You are going to be absolute hell to face in the second half of any football game this year.
Yep.
If you go into the second half with a lead, you should just feel great about your chances of winning that football game because you've got 2 great backs to lean against in that second half.
All seriousness, who's got a better offensive line than Penn State in the Big Ten this year? The answer is nobody for me. All right, so I'm with it. Hey, I also think you got 2 of the best coordinators in the sport. So, yeah, you might be looking at your head coach a little funny. Everybody else might be looking at your head coach a little funny. But, hey, you got 2 elite coordinators. That's important.
Yeah, I mean, we've already hit on this. Everyone's buying Drew Allerstock. We all expect him to take a big step in what will be his last year in collegiate football. You have the best running back duo in the country in Nick Singleton and the other, I'm forgetting his name right now. Katron Allen. I mean, you have all of the tools you need to finally get over the Ohio State and the Oregon hump that you always have in the Big Ten. And guess what?
You don't even got to.
If you don't do that, it's okay. You're still a playoff team.
We're cushy. We're going to be 14-point favorites against every other 10 games on our schedule. All we got to do is get to 10-2, baby. And then we got a fighting chance in a 4-quarter football game in a playoff where we can lean on our run game and an offensive line. Good reasons to be bullish on Penn State. You mentioned it. Hey, maybe this is the Drew Aller year pop. You know, like I've seen crazier things happen in college football. Also, fewer, more talented quarterbacks. I mean, he's got all the physical ability in the world. Maybe they get it clicking. Trevor Pena ain't nothing to slouch at, all right, as well. Probably the best slot receiver they've had at Penn State in a while. Okay, so hey, I like what they've added and returning production on top of what they added. So there's that. Ohio State, fresh off a national title with nothing to lose, man. And you're still one of the most talented offenses in the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a single defense that's going to walk into a game against you and feel comfortable at any single moment because of the wide receiver weapons that you have. I mean, a defense is going to be tense at all moments. It could be 3rd and 45 yards to go, and a defense still probably isn't going to feel exactly comfortable facing against you. So I think that offense is going to be able to put defenses in some really tough positions this year, and I think there's definitely a chance where that offense just kind of carries you back to a national title game.
Yeah, you have the best offensive player in the country and the best defensive player in the country. I don't think there's been a team that can say that in the last 5 or 6 years. So that's a plus. On top of that, you won the national title last year. You finally got that monkey off your back. There is going to be a sense of relief from that and probably a sense of freedom that you get from Ryan Day when he coaches.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, Ryan Day has the elite sense of relief now, gets to coach with like the utmost confidence, and finally what is 100% unanimous support of his fan base. But guys, I mean, let's talk about it. Which program is this more likely to go down the path of in terms of recent national champions, right? Is this more likely to be 2019 LSU, a blip on the radar of the last 2 decades? Or is this more likely to look like what Georgia ran off in 2021 and 2022? Or more likely to look like what Alabama ran off during their time period? Or more likely to look like what Clemson ran off during theirs? I would lean more towards the latter of this situation than this being some type of blip on Ohio State's radar like it was 2019 LSU.
Yeah, no, by the way, on top of all that, you've shown routinely that you heat up when it matters most. You closed out the 22 season in poor fashion against Michigan and gave a Georgia team everything they needed to handle. We don't even need to talk about the example of last year. I mean, it's the greatest run in college football history. So
and how many national champions get to go into the next year with a sick taste in their mouth because their sorry younger brother beat them? It was 7-5 down the road. In their biggest rivalry. Like this, I don't mean to say that about Michigan fans, but that's what or Michigan's program, but that's what it is right now, right? Ohio State just won a national title and they didn't win their most important game last year. Like that sticks in folks, I would imagine. Any other reasons? Clemson. Best quarterback in your conference. Best football team in your conference. In a conference that you own, by the way. All right, I was thinking about it today. When other ACC teams drive through Charlotte, they got to call Dabo and check in. It's like calling Big Bro. Are you in my town? You better check in. You better check in with Clemson when you ride through Charlotte. They dominate the ACC. They're going to dominate the ACC again this year. No reason a Clemson fan shouldn't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, you hit my note on them. You have the best quarterback in your conference by a decent mile. I would say that like Kevin Jennings is good, but I'd say Cade Klubnik is a few steps ahead of him. And compared to all the other quarterbacks in that conference, I think everybody's taking Cade Klubnik in a snap of a finger. I mean,
also,
it doesn't even take any thinking.
Don't know if you know this, but Adam Randall is the next coming of Derrick Henry. Heard it here first.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't even talked about how talented that defensive line is. They're going to give any offensive line fits this entire season, and we all know it all starts on the line of scrimmage. Cade Klubnik is going to be one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country. And by the way, we didn't even hit on this. Dabo's taking players in the transfer portal now.
I know.
He did all of that against with Clemson, and it didn't take a portal player. Now he's starting to do that. College football might be in trouble.
My man added a defensive end for Purdue to the best defensive line unit in the sport. Dabo. Angry Dabo.
Angry Dabo.
Watch out, college football. Speaking of angry, is there a more pissed off conference championship football team than Georgia from a year ago?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Reasons to, I mean, you got a pissed off Kirby Smart. You got a Kirby Smart going into football fall camp talk about running the football and tackling the ball, like playing aggressive with the basics and the fundamentals of a football team. You got the dog back in your program down in Georgia, it feels like.
Yeah, not too many programs are making the college football playoff, winning their conference, the SEC
and
nonetheless,
slighted.
and feeling like they have to really change some things within their program, that they need to do a lot this offseason to get back to what they want. I mean, you went in a season where you beat Texas twice. You did all the things that you really kind of hoped to in that season, just didn't win a playoff game and didn't make it back to the national title game, and yet still feel like, man, that last season sucked kind of.
Ain't had a true X since probably 2021, and you damn near might have two of them this year. Kobe Young and Noah Thomas, like real reasons to be bullish at a position that you've been starved without since George Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, first year that you've really spent at the wide receiver position. I mean, really ever,
Both
I would
in the
say.
portal and on the trail.
Yeah, like you put assets into this wide receiver room. So the fact that the fans saw what an issue was on the field last year and the fact that your coaching staff also realized that and did a lot of things to change that, that's a very promising feeling.
Did you feel like Georgia football had an identity last year? Because I don't, and I think they have an identity this year. I think they're going to be we're going to try to run it down your throat football team. Now, are they going to succeed? I don't know. But they're going into a football season with an actual identity for the first time in, I would say, 2 years. I think their identity in 2023 was, damn, that Brock Bowers is good.
Yeah.
Damn, that Lad McConkey's good. We're going to find out if this I'm going to be a tougher football team than you. Identity is going to work. Normally it does for Kirby Smart in those types of situations. Speaking of having identity and knowing who your football program is, that's Notre Dame to a T.
Yeah.
That is Notre Dame to a T, boys. Why do you like Notre Dame this year?
Well, I think it's that, you're starting a new quarterback this year, a young quarterback, an inexperienced quarterback, but you have the most dynamic run game in college football because Jeremiah Love is the best running back in the sport. But even the backup, I can't remember his name right now, but those are two really solid backs that you have. Guys that pick up the dirty yards, guys that can also create the explosives for you. So that's a great safety blanket to have for a team that's like going to have to figure some things out in the passing game, but we got two studs that we can rely on for the time being.
For the first time in I can't remember how long. Who was the last great Notre Dame wide receiver? I can't remember. Maybe Golden Tate. Like, do we have to go back that far to get like a big time name, like in-house name wide receiver at Notre Dame? I'm going into a year, and maybe this is because I'm just better at my job this year than I was last year, but I don't think that's the case.
Oh, Chase Claypool.
I'm going into a year. That's a high draft pick. Did he ball at Notre Dame though?
He was pretty.
Okay, he was pretty damn good at Notre Dame. That's right. All right. So, but anyways, going into a year where I look at Greathouse and I look at Faison and I'm like, those are two legit weapons. I look at what the transfer from Virginia did last year at Virginia, and I'm impressed by a 6'4" guy with those types of abilities out there as well. So yeah, I'm bullish on the weapons. Malachi Fields, my man from Virginia.
Yeah, let's also talk about this. It feels like for the first time, and no shot at Brian Kelly here, Marcus Freeman is a more likable coach. Marcus Freeman is a more likable coach in that regard. He's recruiting better. And oh, by the way, your schedule is still relatively easy. You don't have to worry about a conference championship, and you're almost always going to be a playoff team the way that format sits out. You combine all of these things with Notre Dame with the fact that they've proven that they're one of the more disciplined and more highly executing teams for the talent that they have. They are going to be a very, very good team this year, and there's no reason why they can't make it back to the national title.
We know they're better than their schedule. We know that. All right, and their schedule is pretty daggone good. We know they're better than their schedule. That's an important thing. And we know right now in August, I don't think I can say this about any other football team we're going to talk about tonight. I think I know for a fact that in August, Notre Dame's going to be a playoff team. I know that right now. In August, I can tell you that. And I don't think I can say that about anybody else.
That's about it, no.
All right, Oregon. Why are you hyped on Oregon? Hey, that's a blue chip quarterback. I know it was ugly at UCLA, but Dante Moore, I remember what that was out of high school. I believed in the 5-star status of that football player. I know that's an immensely talented thrower of the football. And look, if anybody's going to show signs of being able to rebrand their roster every single year out of the portal, it's damn sure Dan Lanning. Also, he rebrands himself with new coordinators every year. It seems like he's got the damn best offensive coordinator every year. First it was Kenny Dillingham, now it's Will Stein. Pulled Will Stein out of UTSA, boom, 42 points per game. It's like I breathe great offensive coaching selection. So great reasons to be bullish up there at Oregon, and we don't even have to take a stab at the schedule to be bullish about it.
Even on top of that,
go ahead.
I think Oregon has a really good chance, as we talked about the other night, of you're probably going to have the best freshman in college football potentially in DeCorian Moore at wide receiver, and you're going to have to lean on him this year. So you're going to get a lot of production from him because Evan Stewart is going to be absent from that wide receiver room. So if there's an early connection with Dante Moore and him, then I think that the offense for the offensive ceiling of the sky's the limit for them. And we've seen how the offense has continued to produce under Dan Lanning, despite any changes, despite coordinating changes, despite changes at quarterback. That offense has continued to produce numbers and points.
Here's why you should be bullish on Oregon. for the first 2 or 3 seasons of Dan Lanning's head coaching career, the slight on him was he always crumbles in the big games. In the big moments when the time's close, he always seems to falter. That didn't happen last year. He won a close game against Ohio State in the regular season, and he pulled out a close win in the Big Ten championship against Penn State. You combine everything else that you two have said, which is all valid, with the fact that Dan Lanning has proven time and time again now that he can consistently make the right coaching decisions and pull out close fourth quarter games. Oregon's going to be a very, very good team this year.
Why should Auburn fans be happy? Got the best wide receiver core in the conference.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, your weapons, anybody should love. And I think a lot of people would trade their wide receiver room for what you have.
You were the most explosive offense in the conference last year, and you got better at wide receiver, and there's reason to believe you got better, at least more talented at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you get to play both your biggest rivals, Georgia and Alabama, at home, a place that has routinely been a house of horrors for them, even though both teams pulled out close victories in 2023. Close victories. You could have beaten both of them easily.
And we're picking up momentum on the recruiting trail. How about that? And don't know if you noticed, but Mr. Yellowwood broke out the paycheck. All right, he put the logo on the field. We got an additional $8 million a year. It's all ups. We got an additional national title. We up at Auburn.
And by the way, I think you're the only program in the SEC that has 3 playable quarterbacks right now. So
that's right.
That's a flex.
That's right. 3 playable quarterbacks. Even though, all jokes aside, Deuce Knight's going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
We got future hopes at Auburn as well. How about that? All right. On to Alabama.
I mean, why shouldn't you be excited as an Alabama fan? What is the reason to not be excited about?
I think you made it through the worst year that you're going to have with DeBoer. Honestly, or at least the most shaky. You might have had a more talented football team that you might have 4 or 5 years from now. I don't know. But that was the most shaky a Kalen DeBoer coach football team will look, in my opinion, especially offensively. Holy cow, how much more comfortable is this guy going to be with an actual quarterback that can play his system, not a quarterback that they have to magically create a quarterback design run game for out of nowhere, something he's completely foreign to. Also, get Ryan Grubb back. Super comfortable situation right now for DeBoer entering year 2. Totally different than what it felt like last year.
Yeah.
Where you're replacing the GOAT in a new environment without your best friend calling plays.
Yeah, not to mention a lot of your roster still has that overturn from what it took to be on a Nick Saban roster, on a championship caliber roster, on a playoff roster, and to feel that embarrassment that was the 2024 season. And let's be fair, it wasn't necessarily an embarrassing year, but there were definitely embarrassing moments. Alabama players, Alabama fans, Alabama coaches will not let that fly in 2025. They're going to be a very good team.
Plus, typically, when you get an offensive style head coach, there tends to be, or you assume that there's going to be some type of drop-off on the defense. There hasn't been a single drop-off for Alabama's defense, at least heading into this year compared to last year. They're super talented on that side of the ball, and you're still really talented offensively. I think you're just going to see a very cohesive Alabama football team.
And let's not forget this. The elite coaches of the elite have always flashed in year 2s.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban flashed in year 2, even though he didn't win a title. Kirby Smart flashed in year 2.
DeBoer at Washington.
DeBoer at Washington. You could even say that Josh Heupel had his best season in year 2 at Tennessee. The year 2 bump for the top echelon coaches. I know we always say year 3 is the standard, but the top upper echelon coaches always show that year 2 flash.
And by the way, I think the scheme redundancies that arrived on defense last year, I think a lot of that gets cleaned up in the second year of a defensive system for all of those guys. They played a lot of young defensive backs last year. And when I'm playing young defensive backs in a new system, yeah, of course, we're not going to vary a ton, all right? I would have liked to see it a little bit more. I think you're going to see it a little bit more this year. Reasons to be bullish there for Alabama. I think LSU has one of the most flawless rosters in the sport. Period. I think they have a great quarterback. I think, all right, we're going to have to figure out run game. That's one flaw. But outside of that, they took stabs at wide receivers. All they needed was an X. They had plenty of Z body types, slot body types, guys that could do a lot of work with the ball after the catch. They got Nick Anderson. What did they need? They needed defensive linemen, right? They needed interior bodies. What did they do? They brought 4 in out of the transfer portal. They needed pass rush. What did they do? They went out and got Zach Pyberg. They went out and got my man from Florida State, Patrick Payton, okay? They took stabs at holes that were obvious on their roster LSU did a great job this offseason at showing me a roster that tells me we should be demanding a college football playoff this year, and I think they do it.
On top of that, of what you said, I would say that it seems like there is no possible way that Garrett Nussmeier doesn't take a massive leap this season. Considering the background that he has as a football player, considering the fact that last year was his first year starting for you, heading into this year, we've seen the type of leaps that quarterbacks can take under Brian Kelly at LSU. I think that, and you improved your weapons as well, in my opinion. So I think there is no world where Garrett Nussmeier doesn't play even better than he did last year. And I think that includes cutting down the turnovers, which has been the Achilles heel of his career so far. I think all of that happens for you.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is everyone's talked about week one with Brian Kelly doesn't go well and the defensive holes. You address the defensive holes through the transfer portal, and this is probably one of your better teams heading into week one, and we feel very confident with that. So,
speaking of feeling very confident, they've arrived in the live chat tonight, and it is Miami fans. Miami fans are extremely bullish on what's about to happen in 2025 for them, because why wouldn't they be? Shannon Dawson's got the keys, guys. Shannon Dawson said, what is this Wazoo guy? Come on down. Number 1 overall pick. Oh, you telling me I can't take the guy that was a 4-star at Georgia and turn him into a first-round pick? Come on now. Carson Beck, come on down for 4,200 yards. Shannon Dawson got the receipts. He knows how to do this, or the recipe rap.
Yeah, I mean, we all talk about how Kay Klubnik is far and away the best quarterback in the ACC. I don't think it's that much of a stretch. Carson Beck is 1B in my opinion. And we know he had a down year, but he is going to light up the ACC this year. I feel fully confident in that. And by the way, we also criticized Miami for their weapons. They're not as bad as we think. It's not a bunch of, high school.
They got my man for BYU. They poached him late in the spring.
They've got a couple 1,000-yard receivers on that roster. Not from, what they're going to turn in this season, but they have guys that's shown eliteness. I think Miami's going to be a lot better than what people give them credit for, and they're going to be competitive in the ACC, and they might beat Clemson in the ACC championship.
Yeah, your quarterback is better than what a lot of people want to say about him. That's all I want to say is that Carson Beck is a lot better than what people give him credit for because of what happened last season. And on top of that, he's in a situation where he probably feels more comfortable, or at least he's also in a situation and in a place in his life right now where football is kind of the main focus for him, and that's a good thing because when that is the main focus for him, he does what he did in 2023 for Georgia, and he was almost a flawless quarterback for them. So you've got a really talented quarterback.
In between the whistles, when the play begins, very few better processors and deliverers of the football in the sport right now. There is no doubt about that when it comes to Carson Beck. Also, number change? Did we notice this? Did we peep this?
I did notice this.
You just erased the previous guy when you changed numbers. That's facts. Everybody knows that.
And by the way, their non-conference schedules are the hardest part of their schedule. Notre Dame and Florida are two of the hardest games they're going to play all season. The ACC is a very, very manageable schedule for them. They should be competing for an ACC title.
Arizona State, I got two things. Kenny Dillingham, Dark Alley. That's all you got to buy. The rest of the time as a Sun Devil fan, that's it. All you got to know is Kenny Dillingham on the sideline. Are you prepared to meet us in a dark alley? One is yes, the other is no. Watch out for Arizona State.
Yeah, and by the way, you have arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12, a conference where we talk about there's a lot of good quarterback play, and arguably one of the most underrated wide receivers in the nation. So, I mean, Jordan Tyson
is a legit X-receiver, a legit weapon. I think opportunity to be wide receiver one.
That's what I was about to say.
Draft.
For sure.
Look around college football. That dude is set to be wide receiver one next year for the NFL draft. And so you have one of the better quarterbacks in the country. You have one of the better wide receivers in the country as well. So despite the fact that you lost some of your run game going into this year, the expectations are still high. You're still in the college football playoff conversation, and you got two great offensive weapons to continue the success you had last year.
Absolutely. Let's talk about South Carolina. You know how I feel. I think you got the best quarterback in the sport. I think you also have the most underrated trio at the wide receiver position in at least our conference, the one that we pay attention to most, right? I don't think the common fan knows how good of a freshman season Mazeo Bennett had last year. I don't think the common fan knows anything about Jared Brown, unless for some reason you're a South Carolina player on NCAA, the video game. You probably don't know who that guy is, but he had a good year last year in the SEC, and he's back for another one. All right, and I really know that the average common fan has no idea that Nick Harbor finally, for the first time in his 21-year-old life, dedicated himself to football. And this is one of the most physically gifted human beings that's really ever walked the planet. He's 6'5", he's 210, and he runs 10-10 in the 100. All right? And we just now focused on football. Like, we just now stopped running track at an Olympic level. Like, this is a big year for Nick Harbor and what I think is the best quarterback in the sport.
Yeah, and by the way, you get Alabama at home. You get Clemson at home. You have Lenore Sellers on your team. This roster believes in itself more than ever. And I think one of the bigger things that gets overlooked about last year's South Carolina team is they were very, very close from being an 11-1 football team. Other than Ole Miss kind of putting them in a box, you could have beaten Alabama. Some say you should have. You very, very well could have beaten LSU.
Most say you should have.
Some say you were cheated out of that win. So, I mean, the fact is that South Carolina was a lot closer than people give them credit for last year, and the idea that they can take another step forward and avenge some of those losses is absolutely plausible.
I think the biggest thing that should really excite South Carolina fans is everybody knows about Lenore Sellers. We know the excitement factor that you have at the quarterback position. We know the potential explosiveness that you could have offensively in your wide receiver room between Mazio Bennett and also Nick Harbor. But the fact that you have Jalen Kilgore and DQ Smith in that secondary, I think is what really should excite you, because I think what really carried that football team last year was how many turnovers your defense forced, and those two guys have the potential to do that for you this year. That's what I think should really excite you.
And we just passed a new rule in sports that we're going to talk in college football, or we're going to talk about pretty soon. Strength of schedule really matters. And if you get to 9-3, there are going to be some people standing upside down on their tables for you to get into a college football playoff this year, considering how tough the schedule is. Michigan fans, I'm going to tell you what right now, I don't think you should care a single solitary bit about wins and losses this year. Just have fun on Saturday. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be really, really fun to watch a quarterback like this. 6'5", 230 pounds, going to be the best athlete on the field on every single given down, and he's an extremely talented thrower of the football. The flashes of your future that you're going to see this year are going to make you have the biggest smile on your face since winning a national title.
It's not just that. You add a blue chip running back to your roster as well in Justice Haynes. There's other pieces other than just Bryce Underwood. And on top of that, I think this is the biggest thing you should be excited for if you're a Michigan fan.
It counts.
Not even that. The reigning national champion, the team that had, quote-unquote, the greatest run in college football history, was, some people say arguably one of the greatest teams of all time. That team did not beat you. That team has you circled this year to say, we have to win this game. It's been X number of years. We haven't won this game since the turn of the century or the turn of the decade. We need to win this game. That should have Michigan fans excited.
Michigan is the equivalent of a baseball team that is just now calling up their top prospects. So this season may not be the year that you're going to get back into the title conversation, but this is the year where you really start seeing the direction of the program under Sherrone Moore, because you do have Bryce Underwood. You just got Savion Hyder in the class this class, so you're going to add him to the roster next year. Your run game is set for the next few years. So this is all about building into next year. So as Brooks mentioned, it'll be a fun season regardless of what the record says.
I don't know if we can say that about Florida, but hey, DJ Lagway's done got all the injuries out.
DJ Lagway is the best.
It's out. We've got them all. They're already done. They happened before the season. Now, Mr. Injury Guru, the hoax is gone. We've broken. So now we're going to go 16 games completely healthy, playing like the dude that we are. You heard it here first.
Yeah, no, by the way, he's your best quarterback since Tim Tebow.
Yeah, cleared by a wide margin.
Talent-wise, Anthony Richardson was talented.
I think this, yeah.
He was talented.
Yeah, he was talented.
Not saying he's a good quarterback.
I said best quarterback. I didn't say the most talented.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And I put it in mind, the offensive potential in Florida might be the highest in college football. That's how I would put it. Between your run game, between your wide receiver.
That's what I got. When healthy, you're going to have one of the scariest offenses in the sport.
Yeah.
With your weapons, your ability to run the football, your quarterback. Kyle Trask, I'm sorry. You had a great year. DJ Lagway is better than you. Have y'all seen the Trask stuff lately?
I don't care.
They pulling Teddy Bridgewater up off the street down there in Tampa, aren't they?
I don't even care
Florida
about what.
Just found their own Jake Fromm, and that's okay.
Who cares what you do in the NFL? Kyle Trask was a Kyle Pitts beneficiary in 2020, and a Kadarius Toney beneficiary in 2020, and all the other things that made Kyle Trask really good. Kyle Trask was not great in 2019, and I don't think did he play in 2018? If he did, it was sparingly. Anywho, moving on. By the way, also, it feels like coming into this season, the team actually is behind Billy Napier. There was a lot of belief coming into 2024 that was like, Billy might not make it out of this season, guys. Like, he's going to get fired. Then they lose that game to Miami, and then they lose the game to Texas A&M. It was like, oh, he's done. Billy Napier's cooked, and then they started getting momentum. It feels like there's actually momentum on Billy Napier's side coming into this season, so that's exciting for Florida fans.
So up down there in Gainesville. So up. Let Austin Armstrong get hot. You know what I mean? Just let Austin Armstrong get hot. Texas A&M. In all seriousness, not that the last segment wasn't serious. This one's definitely serious. Marcel Reed and Colin Klein in what I'm calling year one. I know they were both on the staff or at A&M last year. I know Marcel Reed started 7 or 8 games. I know Colin Klein was there as the OC the whole entire time. But this is their first full season working together, and I think they're going to be really, really good together. All right, not only are they going to morph and stylistically match one another and be able to speak the same language, but I think they put some RPO merchants on this football team. I think Mario Craver and KJ Concepcion are the best versions of an RPO get open now. Let's see what you can do with the ball in your hands after the catch type of weapons that they could have added.
Yeah, I've said it like for the past couple of weeks about Texas A&M. I am so bullish on that offense. I think they could really hit a home run this year with the quarterback position, with the potential leaps that they take, with Le'Veon Moss carrying the rock for you as well. I think there's so much potential for that offense to be good at week one and just continue to get better and better and better as the season progresses.
Is there a deeper offensive line and running back group in the conference? Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens, Amari Daniels, Emmitt Smith Jr., they returned 6 of 7 contributors from their offensive line a year ago.
Strong
They were
unit.
second in the conference.
People forget that Mike Elko had this team in the top 10 in his first year.
Yep.
Now, it kind of unraveled towards the end there. And oh, by the way, Marcel Reed was running an offense that wasn't built around him. It was built by Connor Weidman. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. And by the way, when we talk about great teams in the SEC or possible contenders, Texas A&M's name almost never gets thrown out there. They're being slept on.
I'm here to tell Tennessee fans today that I wholeheartedly believe you've improved at the quarterback position. I believe that. I think you were really, really bad at quarterback last year. I think the more I watch it, the more I progress into that wasn't good enough, period, point blank. Nico ran really well last year. He helped out your running game. You're going to miss it this year. You're going to miss Dylan Sampson this year. But you know what's not going to happen this year? When you got a wide receiver running butt naked down the sideline, I can almost guarantee you he ain't going to get overthrown by 9 yards. All right, which was all I think I saw last year when I watched Tennessee football. It got to a point where no one thought that you could throw beyond or past them, so they started loading boxes against you. That's not going to happen this year for you guys. Now, you still got to find some explosive weaponry, all right, but the system alone is going to put guys on islands and have dudes running into grass. So that's good news for you this year. Also, by the way, you're still a good defense. Like, you're still a really, really good defense on paper, and that is good news for you.
Yeah, I think you're a very, very balanced football team. I think you're solid on defense, and I think you're going to be solid on offense. Whether or not you're going to be great, that's just kind of the question about the program. But that's kind of the question for everybody heading into the season of, we feel like you're good, but are you going to be great this season? That's kind of how I feel about Tennessee. I think that your run game is going to solve itself like it does most years. Whether or not they're going to be great as good as Dylan Sampson, I don't think that, but they don't have to be. That's the good thing about this offense is you don't need Peyton Lewis or Deshaun Bishop to be as good as Dylan Sampson because Josh Heupel is going to help them out. The defensive weapons that you have, I think they're going to be really solid this year as well.
3 things. Josh Heupel offense has always been able to run the ball. Doesn't matter who's in the backfield. Doesn't matter what roster you've had.
Doesn't really matter if you have an NFL caliber offensive lineman, like a NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had one. The left tackle a couple years ago got highly drafted. That's it.
They've always been able to run the football. They've had very, very, very good defenses the last 2 or 3 seasons, and they will have one this year. And by the way, it's going to be hard to get much worse in the deep ball category than you were with Nico last year. Like, everyone's like, oh, you know, they lost Nico Iamaleava. They're going to drop off. If Joey Aguilar is 25% better and more accurate with his deep balls, this offense is already going to be more explosive. So I think Tennessee, you should be very bullish on them this season.
Absolutely. Hey, Austin Simmons is going to be a dude, Ole Miss fans. I'm telling you right now. All right, Austin Simmons is going to light it up this year. Austin Simmons is going to have people, including him, in that DJ Lagway era, Arch Manning, zone entering the 2026 college football season. You follow me here?
I get it.
That's what type of season Ole Miss is in for. A buckle up, next year's our year type of year for Ole Miss.
Yeah, offenses are going to skip a beat this year. I think the weapons are still going to be really solid for you despite some of the losses that you had in that department, and despite the fact that you lost Jackson Dart. You're still going to be really good on offense because Lane Kiffin's calling the shots, and you got a guy that they really believe in at the quarterback position. If Lane Kiffin is selling his quarterback, a lot of people should be buying it.
This dude graduated high school at 16 years old. He graduated college at 19. He's already been drafted in baseball. This is a dude, all right? This got all – now, I know none of that has anything to do with playing the quarterback position, but he's a very special individual. I think that's one thing they have been very adamant about. This kid is special.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, you're buying a Lane Kiffin offense this year, and it's always been pretty profitable for you. So,
how did you feel like that went?
I thought it went great.
I mean, yeah, there's positive takeaways for every team, and I think we can hit on them pretty well.
We can be that.
We can be that.
I don't want to be that.
I'm saying it's like.
I think what
of course we could.
I think what we should do tomorrow is tell everybody why their team won't.
We said we should have a hate day.
I said I want a hate day.
I just don't like. I get why I can't do that. That felt forced. At some points in there, that felt really forced.
Well,
and I can't do that.
There's just moments where you're doing that, and then there's an immediate point in my mind where I'm like, but there's a but for a lot of points that we made.
I'm sorry, but I feel like your analysis. If you come to at least our show, that but is required. That actual real analysis of. Yeah, everything's hunky-dory, but here's the reality. You might end up 8-4, and here's why. I do think it's important to have that.
Yeah, for example, the Ole Miss one of Austin Simmons is really talented, and Austin Simmons could have a fantastic season, but the stats for first-year starters with Lane Kiffin do not back that up.
No.
It says that there are going to be major ups and downs in this first season for him as a starter. So just one example that I kind of thought of.
It was a pretty crazy ditty right there.
I didn't say anything. I didn't laugh. I didn't point it out.
That's all me, bro.
You get mad at me when I point them out, but
it is though. It is required.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how about the NCAA getting a big fat dub in the chat today? Did y'all see that?
In the chat?
Oh, big dubs in the chat for the SEC. Big dubs in the chat for the SEC. All you Big Ten homers tuning in
I thought you said
today,
the ACC.
Go ahead, take the L. They got the strength of schedule metric added in. Did you see this?
I did.
I'm going to read this. All right. Changes for the upcoming season include enhancements to the tools that the selection committee uses to assess schedule strength. I got really tongue-tied there. And how teams perform against their schedule. The current schedule strength metric has been adjusted to apply greater weight to games against strong opponents. An additional metric, record strength, has been added to the selection committee's analysis to go beyond a team's strength or schedule strength to assess how a team performed against that schedule. The metric rewards teams defeating high-quality opponents while minimizing the penalty for losing to such a team. Conversely, these changes will provide minimal reward for defeating a lower quality opponent while imposing a greater penalty for for losing to such a team. In other words, this is whether you want to call it the Alabama rule, the South Carolina rule, or on the other end of this, the gotcha Indiana rule. This was put in place so people like Indiana couldn't be like, oh, all we have to do is win 10 games. Oh, okay. Well, we'll make sure our non-conference schedule is an absolute joke.
Yeah, and I like this rule. I think it's smart. I think we all can look at certain schedules and say not all 10-2 teams are created equal. That's very effective. That said, if Penn State loses to Oregon this year and loses to Ohio State and doesn't have any other impressive wins on their schedule, they will still be a playoff team. If there's a Indiana that pops up this year that isn't traditionally amongst the powers that be.
Hold on. Because we don't know what this actual metric is. They're just telling us that there is.
Right.
You can take that and you can be, skeptical of this strength. Or you could sit here and say, that's not the case. If a 10-2 Penn State happens and a 9-3 South Carolina happens, this rule right here is telling me that South Carolina's going. You could look at it both ways. You could either look at this rule and say, I don't believe you, that's lip service. Or you could look at this and say, no, if we have a 10-2 debate between a Big Ten team that we know has a strength of schedule in the 70s versus a 9-3 SEC school that we know has a strength of schedule in the top 10, the 9-3 schedule's getting in based off what this just said. All right, now, or you could be like Kirby, which I'm with you, Kirby. I don't believe it until I see it, but this is different than, best teams get in and we'll just decide obligatorily who's the best team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have a clear-cut sign that strength of schedule is actually going to matter now. And look, whether or not it actually takes into place, Kirby, I don't think is the conversation to be had. I think it is good, and I think it is reasonable to say that it's good that college football teams are now being incentivized to make their schedules tougher and better.
Definitely.
Because we are doing everything we can to demean the regular season. Every time I turn around, we're doing something to demean the regular season. Now, we're still demeaning the losses. If they happen in these big games, they're getting even more demeaned now. But now we're at least incentivizing you to play them. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's the good news out of this rule, too.
And at the end of the day, you can say that you're adding a new metric for this, but at the end of the day, at the end of the line, it is still human beings who are deciding who these playoff teams are. So there might be a metric that is telling them South Carolina's strength of schedule is better than a 10-2 Penn State's, but a 10-2 Penn State is still going to be really hard for people to say that's not a playoff team, but a 9-3 South Carolina team is.
But don't they? See, this is the thing.
And that's the thing, we don't really know.
That's what really pisses me off about this committee, right? And sorry to get angry about this, but like, we know this sport as good as anybody else that does this. All right, I would say arguably better. I feel that way about us. We know how to do this. We have segments called I Read So You Don't Have To. I've done as much exhaustive reading on this stuff as I humanly possibly can, and I have no idea anything about their process. I don't know how they go about it. All I see is them tweet me a video out of them sitting in a room together, apparently watching ball. But like 7 of them are just ADs who have nothing to do with football. Mm-hmm. It's so weird.
Yeah. Before we go to our next segment, I do want to make sure that we put Darren Payne on the wall.
Darren Payne?
A super chub at the beginning of the show.
Was that an Alabama defensive lineman? Or am I thinking of
there is different? A Payne.
I think that's a Deron Payne.
Yeah, that sounds right. I can't remember what his message exactly said, but I know that he said that he has been listening since October of 2020 and that he's really proud of us.
All right, so little news tip here for you. If you go to the YouTube segment, Jonathan, I'm telling you this on air, and there's a little button at the top that says Top Chat, Live Chat, Fan Funding. If you hit that down and go to select Fan Funding, it'll only show you the comments that were subbed.
I believe that's only an option for you.
Oh, big boss man got that. Mm-hmm. Darren Payne, been subbed since October 2020. Proud of you, boys. October 2020, we would have had about 1,100 subs.
Nice.
You know? About 1,100 subs. So we'll be knocking down the door of 100K by the end of the year. I want to put Darren Payne on the board. Austin Mixon, as an employee, I got to tell you, as an employee of this network, the idea that you would pay $20 to see me talk about Florida State's chances to win as a troll, we could do better things with $20. You know, there's charitable donations we could make other than trolling your boss on the internet right now. You know what I mean? Let's go put Darren Payne on the board. Don't worry about the dead air, boys. Don't worry about covering it. Don't worry about doing nothing. Just let it sit.
Okay.
I mean, look, we don't need to be talking the whole time. I mean, you gotta let it breathe sometimes.
I think watching you do this is a lot more entertaining than anything we could say right now.
It's a visual show. You don't always need to cover dead air.
Y'all put my spread eag on air right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, spread eag in front of the camera.
You know, I've lost about 85 pounds. When will this phantom, I feel like I need to pull my shirt away from my fat belly, stop? Does that ever stop? Is that just like a tick the rest of my life? Like when I had you remember the old Hoover do hair where you kind of like flip it over, you look like one of the Hoover Buck off the MTV shows? Mm-hmm. I had that tick in my head for like 6 weeks after I cut my hair because I'd been flipping my hair like that for so long. You think that's what happens with the belly?
I think it'll eventually go away.
Okay. I'm hoping so.
I don't know.
We got Heisman odds. You want those?
Sure.
Heisman odds? Or I thought we were doing Heisman predictions.
Well, we got the odds, and then we're going to give you our predictions on the odds that you should take. How about that?
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Now, I printed these in black and white, so these didn't come out very good. Let's see if I can read these. Arch Manning plus 700, K Klubnik plus 900, Nuss plus 900. Are these? Yeah, these are pluses. Jeremiah Smith plus 1,200, Lenora Sellers plus 1,700, Carson Beck plus 1,800, as is Drew Allard, Ty Simpson, DJ Lagway at plus 2,000, Julian Sand at plus 2,000. That's bad radio. I'm going to stop reading these off. Boys, when you look at the Heisman odds right now, where are you finding value? If you were to put some mortgage on it, what would you do?
All right, well,
where
look,
would you go?
Here's what we think we know already, and please don't crucify me for playing under the hype train. Plus 700 odds right now for Arch Manning are still really, really positive odds. And we know this already. We know that the national media is going to do everything they can to make this guy look like football Jesus. We know that he's going to be on one of the most watched teams in the college football realm. We know that Texas, or at least we can feel pretty confident that Texas is going to be a conference champion contending team, a playoff team. Arch Manning at plus 700, there's a lot of good value still there.
I think that Lenoris at plus 1,700 is good value.
Talk to me now.
I mean, he feels like I feel safer picking him to win the Heisman than a lot of people, just because I know that he's going to put the highlights up. He's going to have the numbers. Like, he's going to be the sole reason, or what people are going to believe is the sole reason why South Carolina makes a playoff if they do this year. He feels like the safest bet to me to at least end up in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. So the fact that he's at plus 1,700, I like, and he's got big games. So like, if he balls out.
Why can't Lenoris Sellers have the exact same season Lamar Jackson had when he won a Heisman? Now, I'm not saying the numbers, but I'm talking about, we know they're not going to win a national title, but we know his individual efforts are so great that at 8-4, it's good enough. Give him the championship, or give him the trophy.
It's certainly possible.
I'm with you. Plus 1,700 is one of my best takes, or one of my best values. Also, you guys have heard me talk about the idea that Kalen DeBoer is going to have a quarterback that fits his mold. I said Ty Simpson's going to throw for 4,000 yards. If he does, which every quarterback in DeBoer's system has always done, you're looking at one of the highest, values on this board, considering what we think Alabama is going to be. I think Alabama is going to be a playoff team this year, one of the 4 out of the SEC that I'm predicting this season. So if that's the case, if this guy's throwing for 4,000 yards off rip in my mind, that's good value at plus 1,800.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely value there. I think Garrett Nussmeier is also one with good value, plus 900. If he wins that Clemson game, his stock's going to go up through the roof. He's got a difficult schedule along the way, and he's going to have to do it statistically, I think, through a good LSU team. I don't think you can Lamar Jackson your way to the Heisman, but I like his odds there, and I think it's good value.
I mean, guys, if Jeremiah Smith is one of the favorites to win the Heisman, why isn't it good assumptions to take value in the starting quarterback? We know that's going to be throwing him the football. Julian saying at plus 2,000 is really, really good odds, is it not?
And considering there's only been 2 wide receiver players that wide receiver.
If my memory serves me, wasn't Mac Jones in New York when Devontae Smith won the Heisman?
Yes,
he was.
I think it's a good bet right there.
I think that now this guy hasn't shown that he's able to take on the load that it would require for him to win the Heisman, but Jeremiah Love plus 4,000. Don't exactly hate it. Don't the fact that we deem him as the best running back in college football, and if Notre Dame is going to make another run in the national title game, he would have to be playing at a great level. If he stays healthy and they're giving him more carries, plus 4,000 for Jeremiah Love isn't bad in my opinion.
I don't think Reggie Bush had more than 2 games of 15-plus touches the year before he won the Heisman, so there's some food for thought for you.
We love that. I'm saving my last pick here for the biggest value play, plus 10,000 odds. I love this selection.
All right, so here's my biggest value play then. Plus 1,800 odds, Carson Beck. Look, you go back to the 2023 season, we've narrowed it now. We've hit it over the head a million times in 2024. Carson Beck we saw was uncharacteristic. The Georgia offense we saw was uncharacteristic. The Georgia team we saw was uncharacteristic. I think I'm more inclined to believe that what you saw from Carson Beck in 2023, a really good processor, plays on time, doesn't really make mistakes that often, always seems to find an answer, even if he doesn't consistently push the ball down the field. Carson Beck was a 3,900-yard passer. He had 25 touchdowns, I believe, didn't turn the ball over that often. We all said last year, if Carson Beck replicates 2023, he's the number 1 overall pick and is in New York for the Heisman. There's no reason as to why Carson Beck can't replicate that with Miami against ACC defenses that, let's be fair, aren't going to be as strong. And by the way, he's going to have an opportunity to do on a national stage. You play against Notre Dame on a Sunday, that's going to be watched by everyone. If you have a great game in that, it's going to be great. You play Florida. That's another team that Carson Beck hasn't lost to, by the way, has played against that defense a bunch of times. I think Carson Beck has a lot of upside for the value of that.
And look, for every big play that was on Miami's tape last year of Cam Ward extending and making some miraculous Heisman-esque type number 1 overall type play, there was probably some fundamental rudimentary option in those plays. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that Shannon Dawson will have answers in this offense for Carson to get to, and that means he's going to complete those. That is what he is as a quarterback. If you give him answers, he'll find them and he'll get to the completion, right? He'll complete north of 70%, and if you give him 4,000 yards in schematics, by God, he's going to get you 4,000 yards. So there is that to believe in terms of why you would buy into that Heisman stock. Anything else? No John Mateer love here?
I told you. I've already given you my take on John Mateer.
Staying clear of Mateer. Huh?
I don't want to encourage anybody to put U.S. dollars on John Mateer winning the Heisman this year, just because I think there's too much vulnerability for it to go either way this year. But tell us about this mystical.
What about a euro? You said I can't put a U.S. dollar on it. What about like a euro? Can I put a euro on Mateer?
If you have a euro to put on Mateer, then sure.
I don't know any other currencies for this bit to continue.
Yen.
Yen? How about yen? Can I put yen on it?
Sure. It's your money.
Darian Mensah at plus 10,000. Talk to me now. Darian Mensah is an NFL football player. I don't know if you know who Darian Mensah is. You're probably listening to this right now going, I got to Google Darian Mensah. I'm going to tell you, don't worry about it. He's the Duke quarterback, okay? He's transferring over from Tulane. I thought he put NFL stuff on tape last year in Tulane's offense. They really only chunks it like 27 and a half times a game. They're going to Duke this year that camp going to Duke. Darian Mensah going to be the starter there. Guys, they threw for like 3,200 yards last year with a quarterback that they sent packing in my man Morris. So I am buying Darian Mensah stock at plus 10,000. You go 9-3 and put up 4,300 yards passing, you might end up in New York.
Yeah, I mean, throwing 10 on a plus 10,000 is why the hell not? Like, if it hits, great. If not, I paid $10 to watch a season of college football. Like, there's great value there. So I get it.
All right, we got to do What If Wednesday, and we got to hit this LSU and Clemson preview. So I know Georgia fans, I know we might be going long on the national hour, but we'll pay it back on the back end of that local hour. Let's get after it with this LSU versus Clemson preview. Guys, if we weren't getting ready for big noon kickoff between Ohio State and Texas, this would be the biggest week one game in the history of college football. No different than we got done talking about last night with Texas and Ohio State. This is as massive as they come. I think everyone would be consumed by this, except there's that other one.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more bigger. I mean, anytime you get crossover between the ACC and the SEC early in the season, it's two top 10 programs. It's very reminiscent of Georgia Clemson 2021, except for the fact, like you pointed out, it's not at a neutral site. It's going to be in Death Valley in Clemson. So there's a lot of excitement around this game. So I get it.
And look, there's a lot of excitement about Arch Manning and Julian Sand, but from a known commodity standpoint, if you're looking for a quarterback duel in week one of the college football season, this is the one I'm paying attention to. Okay, I think Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik are going to go bar for bar in this football game, and that's why the number one key to winning this one to me is whichever quarterback avoids the catastrophic mistake. I'm not talking about a mistake. There's going to be a turnover in this football game. There's going to be multiple, in my opinion. The defenses are too good. They're too filled with way too many playmakers. However, whichever one of these quarterbacks, because they're ultra competitors, they're going to try to drive the machine a little bit too fast. Whichever one of them makes a catastrophic, what the hell are you doing type of mistake, that team is probably going to lose. Avoid that one. And both of these quarterbacks tend to do it, man. Like when you study Cade, when you study Garrett, every once in a while, there's a play where it's like their brain shuts off. And they have to avoid that one. What do you guys got for in terms of keys to this matchup?
After watching Clemson play Texas last year on film this offseason, we need to see some urgency from the how Clemson adapts offensively. I felt like it took a long time for them to really figure out how they wanted to attack Texas and figure out a game plan of like, all right, here's where they're weak. This is where we can get them. And then when they did that, they started finding success offensively. I think that's why in the second half you saw them kind of closing the gap on them. I don't think you can't do that against LSU because
it can't take us 3 quarters to realize, quarterback run with Cade Klubnik is our answer in the run game.
Yep.
And we actually can take vertical deep shots here. Like the moment, you're right, the moment they saw it, it's like it took him 3 quarters to figure it out. We charted his pass attempts. He did not have a pass beyond 15 yards down the line of scrimmage until like midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, I think that this LSU offense is too explosive for you to take that long, because if it's taking you that long to find what changes you need to make, it might be too late for you to make it back into the ballgame.
Look, we talk about how exciting the quarterback battle is, and it really is. It's going to be one of the better quarterback battles of week one, I think. But at the end of the day, these are two teams, though. There's a lot of questions around their running game. LSU couldn't really run the ball last year. Clemson lost all of their starters from the running room. I mean, Gideon Davidson's going to be a true freshman starting, and they've got a wide receiver converted to running back. Whoever can establish the run in this game and at least do it to some consistency, don't have to necessarily run it at will. I don't think either team's going to have success doing that. But whoever can get some consistent runs going is going to win this football
Kirby,
game.
you hit the nail on the head. LSU was 107th last year in average yards per game on the ground offensively. Clemson played 3 SEC teams a year ago. They were top 50 in running last year. They played 3 SEC teams last year, failed to get over 80 yards on the ground in all 3 football games. They were held under 3.2 yards per carry, held under 3 yards per carry in 2 of the 3. It was real congested in the run game. Whichever one of these offenses can just establish some type of, balance offensively, I think they're going to have a good run at it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that too. Of course, it always comes down to defensive play as well. But I think for both of these teams, like how high we are on both offenses, it is going to be about which defense can be the most disruptive. I think specifically in the passing game, I think that whichever defensive front can make things complicated for the quarterback, because that's what you're going to have to do to get these guys off their game. They can't just be sitting in the pocket, operating, picking and choosing whatever they want to do. Somebody's got to be disruptive, and whichever defensive line is the more disruptive unit, I think that they're going to have the higher chance of winning this football game.
And look, that LSU unit last year, I mean, I know they had 2 NFL tackles, but I believe they gave up 9 sacks to a Florida unit, right? Mm-hmm. There were games last year where Garrett Nussmeier was running for his life, all right? And they've got to avoid that, especially against this Clemson defensive line. But my most important key in this football game, everybody knows the 0 for the last 5 starts for LSU. Everybody knows it's been 0 for the last 3 under Brian Kelly. But when I looked at it today, there is one specific reason that's a major point of concern going into a football game like this where emotions are high, and for the first time in 3 years, it's not a neutral. You're going to Clemson. And you, in these starts of the football or starts of the season, cannot finish football games, guys. They got outscored by 14 points in the fourth quarter last year against USC. They got outscored by 14 points 2 years ago against Florida State in the fourth quarter. They have a problem the last 2 years finishing football games to start the year. That can't happen here. If they're in a tight football game going into the fourth on the road, watch out. Things might get ugly. They got to finish.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it felt like that was really the big issue for LSU throughout the regular season last year. Other than that Ole Miss game and the South Carolina game, they had a lot of moments in that, especially it comes in week 1, where they were not able to close things out. So that's going to be especially important against Clemson. I think another stat line to pay attention to is Dabo Swinney's 0-6 against ranked SEC teams the last 6 times.
Oof.
Like, it has not been great against ranked SEC opponents. I know everyone wants to talk about Brian Kelly in week 1 and LSU in week 1. Something's going to give here. One of these streaks is going to end.
That's what I was going to say. It almost feels like it's the get over the hump game for both of these coaches. Like, either Dabo Swinney is finally going to get a win against a ranked SEC opponent, or Brian Kelly is finally going to get a win in week 1 and get his team rolling hot at the very start of the season. So a lot of good storylines heading into this matchup.
Absolutely. Can't be more stoked for it. Like I said, I think it's the best quarterback battle available in week 1. I know everyone's going to be paying attention to Arch and Julian, but these are 2 dudes that are ready to go to the Sunday League, still playing on Saturday. I'm stoked for it. Over under passing yards in that football game. If I set it at 600, would you take the over?
I'd think about it.
I would. Both those guys going for more than 3 bills with no rushing attack. I would.
Yeah, I mean, considering too, like what I was just about to bring up is like the matchup between LSU's secondary and Clemson's wide receiver room. Like, those are 2 rooms that we think are going to improve this year, that we feel pretty good about Clemson's wide receiver room, and we think that LSU is going to be better in the secondary. Like, it's going to be a test for both of them. Like, we're going to see which one actually is the better one and which one actually is going to show improvements this year, because if it's LSU's secondary from the past, it ain't going to be a good matchup for them. And if Clemson's wide receivers aren't exactly taking these steps forward that we think they will, it might be a dangerous game for them as well.
Well, let's also remember, it is week 1. There's going to be some getting adjustments to, and especially since it's going to be not a neutral site game.
Yep.
Clemson has a little bit of an advantage of that. I don't think you're going to see these teams come out the bat swinging. I don't think 300 yards passing for both quarterbacks is
I mean, last year when we saw Clemson go up against Georgia, they completely altered their identity as a football program. It was very, very weird to see. We talked about that a lot last year. All right, we have to be really, really rapid here, but I am not going to Wednesday without What If Wednesday. Not here on this network. Boys, what if Rocco Becht and Avery Johnson give us the quarterback performance of a lifetime this weekend in week 0, only setting up what I believe to be the quarterbacks conference this year? The Big 12, boys, is the most underrated quarterback conference in the sport this year. They got dudes that's going to be chucking it this season.
I think if you do that, you create some validity in the Big 12. I think everyone kind of looks at the Big 12 as like the ugly stepchild of the Power 4, where it's like, yeah, you guys are with us, but you're not really on our level. No one really respects you. If you layer that with a bunch of different teams, like if Avery Johnson, if Rocco Becht, if Sam Levitt, if all of these guys are really, really good gunslingers, the Big 12 is going to get some respect this year.
I hope they do, because these Ireland games have kind of been some duds, in my opinion. They really haven't been great football games. Like even last year, it was just like, oh, this Florida State team is bad. That's kind of what we're witnessing right now.
Hey, but, Pat McAfee got drunk in a bar. That was cool.
Hey, I mean, that was probably the highlight of the day.
Good.
There's worse ways to spend a Saturday. My first what if. What if the wide receiver additions for Dylan Raiola aren't enough to make that offense take the next step, even though that I think Raiola will this year?
I think I think if that's the case, Nebraska is not going to be the year 3 team that Matt Rule promised it was. I think you're banking on Dylan Raiola advancing because the weapons around him getting better. And that was one of the main reasons why he wasn't necessarily a great quarterback last year, because everything around him was so bad.
And just to be a little honest, Dane Key was a highly rated wide receiver going to the transfer portal, but it wasn't like this dude was just this magical game changer and I know it was Kentucky, and I know the situation was bad, but it's not like they just added Julio Jones to the roster and it's like, oh man, this offense just got 10x better. Like, it's kind of still projecting that Dane Key is also going to get better this year.
All right. What if Kansas State just absolutely destroys Iowa State week 1? I'm talking beats them by 30.
Hop on the wagon. I'm telling you, Kansas State going to the Big 12 championship. That's what that would tell me.
It would also be on par with the way these Ireland games have gone. Although, say what you want, the Tech Florida State game was pretty fun to watch. It was entertaining.
It was fun, but again, it was
a close game.
Well, I think you're a ball knower, so I think any ball knower that watches Georgia Tech's offense and watches Haynes King is going to be like, I like watching that.
Yeah.
That's not ugly. You know what I mean? It's fun.
Those first two opening drives were like, oh,
yeah.
We're about to watch a
gut punches. Yeah.
What if Southern Miss beats Mississippi State in week 1? Reminder: this game is played at Southern Miss, and Mississippi State, I think, is favored by 13.
Jeff Levy might be in trouble.
It also,
hey, you don't get left on the tarmac if you're playing in your own state and riding a bus home.
That's true.
So that's
you just got to Uber. You just
get a good Uber from Southern Miss to Mississippi State.
I think Southern Miss has 30 transfers on this roster, new transfers going into this year. They tore it down to the studs and built it back up.
Guys, do you know who the name Sire Gaines is?
Sounds familiar.
What if Sire Gaines goes for 2,000 yards at Boise State this year, just like Ashton Jeanty did a year ago? Guys, did you know that Sire Gaines averaged 7.3 yards per carry last year?
Damn.
How many carries?
I mean, enough to get 700 yards on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We were doing big stuff last year in mop-up duty, and now we finna get all the totes that Boise State has to give us. Now, I know Ashton Jeanty was a 1 of 1, but the backup wasn't no slouch last year, guys. So I think there is an opportunity Sire Gaines goes off this year.
So, they play Notre Dame. That could be interesting, because the one thing that kept Ashton Jeanty at Heisman contention last year,
no big time wins.
Well, no. What kept him in? What kept him in was that he had a really good game against Oregon.
Yeah,
and that was like he had a good game against Oregon. How can you say he's not doing this against the same competition? So if Sire Gaines rips off 200 against Notre Dame, he's got a chance to be in New York.
Boise State really good at holding on to talent. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I guess.
Really good at keeping those guys around.
Yeah, I mean, Jency stayed 2 years. I don't know if this guy really put together that much of a burn to be like poachable. You know what I mean?
I mean, 700 yards, 7.5 yards per carry.
Ain't bad.
Someone had to have gotten that attention of
Somebody had to
whoa,
have known.
What's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, of all people, you think Dan would have, like, if Dan wanted to poach, he would have poached.
Sure.
That. I mean, he needed a running back. Went out and got one this year.
What if Colorado just alternates Julian Lewis and Caden Salter all season?
Could see it.
Yeah,
like it's just like, hey, here's who we got today. Oh, next drive, it's this guy.
So I don't know if y'all saw, but Cal is very, very serious about cutting their football program.
Mm-hmm.
What if Stanford just gets absolutely mollywopped by Hawaii on Saturday?
You think they pull the plug just right then and there?
I mean, if anybody's pulling plugs, if Cal's pulling a plug on a football program, Stanford's next, right?
I think the one thing that's protecting Stanford right now is it has a voice and not a mascot, but
face.
A face.
And
Andrew Luck is there. He very clearly cares. He's very clearly investing in that program. It's kind of reinvigorated some excitement around it. Now, they're going to have to win football games. Getting killed by Hawaii is a bad thing to do. But I think that, Cal...
You got someone that will fight for you. Cal does not have someone that will fight for them right now. Andrew Luck will fight for Stanford football.
I don't think Marshawn Lynch and Aaron Rodgers are coming to the rescue. So
No, they aren't.
Or Javid Best.
But at those schools, Cal is claiming that they're losing the ability to invest in their Olympic sports because of the losses that are created because of football.
Mm-hmm.
So leave the ACC.
We're talking about Power 5 football programs losing money on football. That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, leave the ACC.
Yeah,
we are seeing programs
cut your travel expenses.
Not announce officially, but basically tell everybody like, this is the sport that we are focusing in on, and some of them have not been football. I mean, that's just reality. My last one I want to bring up: what if Virginia Tech beats South Carolina? Really, the only reason why I'm bringing this question up is because I noticed today that the line has closed in by 2 whole points. It was 9.5 in favor of South Carolina. It is now down to 7.5.
Ooh.
A little interesting if you ask me.
That hype train is getting ejected from the station. No one is hopping on it.
Speaking of hype train, we have a whole nother hour coming up right up after this break, and I'm going to tell you right now, we finna hype them dog fans up. You thought we hyped them folks up in the national hour. We fitting to have you barking, son. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? Really like that. You really like that? Let's shut up and grab some tape. Boys, we got big news coming on this front. You know what I mean? Sometimes you make your habits your income. You know what I mean? Ain't that kind of cool? You know? Sometimes you make your habits your income. I had a habit of watching a lot of ball, and now it's my income. How about that?
Oh, that is big facts.
Welcome into the Local Hour. We got a great one for you. I am excited about this segment that Jonathan brought to our doorsteps today. Not going to tell you who he stole it from, but we stole it from another content creator. We appreciate you out there in that Midwestern region, okay? We got a great one tonight. We're going to go back and look at the 2024 signing class that is an absolute, it seems to be home run after home run after home run for the University of Georgia on the recruiting trail. And I told you, we're going to hype you up. We're going to have you barking by the end of this one. We gonna play We Up Wednesday with the regards to this Georgia football program. Boys, I want to start, however, with this 2024 signing class. Jonathan, what made you want to do this? By the way, this is an article that has already been written over on Bulldogs on SI. So just search si.com/college/Georgia for all things written from the boys and I today.
This idea actually came from another content creator. I don't know who they write for. I can't remember their name. I know it was in the Texas space. I saw them doing a very similar thing with Texas. So I thought, hey, let's go look at Georgia's 2024 class. Let's see how many of those guys are already starters or are set to be contributors this season. And it's a lot of them, to the point where I titled it as Georgia hit the jackpot. That's what it seems like for this 2024 recruiting class. I believe there's 8 names or 11 names from that 2024 class last year that is either set to be a starter for Georgia this year or is going to be an impact player on this roster. And there's a dozen other names that could very well play into that role as well.
I mean, I went through it today, and I think they have 7 guys at the top of this commitments list from 2024 that you said 11 impact guys. I think they have 7 guys already through just 12 months of them on campus. Know for a fact this guy has an opportunity to be a transcendent football player. Not just he's going to play for us. That's great. That's bare minimum. There's a lot of that. Like you said, there's 11 of that already. Okay. There's 7 on this list that I think already right now, going into their sophomore year, their second year on campus, I think they're going to be absolute transcendent for this football program. Ellis Robinson, Justin Williams, KJ Bolden, Chris Cole, Joseph Jonah-Ajonye, Nate Frazier, Quintavious Johnson. Those 7 have already shown things to me on tape that I know for a fact they're going to be above the standard for what Georgia football looks like on tape. And I saw that in year 1 of those guys.
Mm-hmm. And I think that going into like the other guys that I mentioned, like DeMello Jones battling for that second cornerback spot, going to get playing time this year. Jaden Riddell going to be rotated in with the what you want to say?
No, go ahead. I'm doing a bad habit of jumping on you guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jaden Riddell going to be in that tight end rotation this year with Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky. Chauncey Bowen's going to get some legit burn at running back this year behind Nate Frazier. And then Nnamdi Boko going to get a lot of playing time on the defensive line this year. So you're adding more and more names.
And look, some of those guys, like you mentioned, I promise you, if the common fan had seen everyday reps from DeMello Jones, you would be telling me what they're telling me right now as a staff. We think we have 4 NFL corners right now. We think we have 4 NFL corners and only 2 spots to play them. The 4th being DeMello. Everybody knows about Ellis. Everybody knows about Daniel Harris. Everybody knows about Dalen Everett. Very few people talk about DeMello Jones, and the people in the building think he's going to be like a top 60 guy when he's done playing. He's that talented. So I'm with it. There's a lot of football players. Like, for example, Dwight Phillips has already been made a point of emphasis last year as a true freshman. Okay. Jaden Riddell is going to get burned this year, right? He's the 3rd tight end already as a sophomore. Daniel Calhoun, he would be playing anywhere else, but he might have just gotten beat out by a superstar. You know what I mean? That got over-recruited previously for him. So, there are a bunch of football players that are already, as you mentioned, hits, man. And look, we live in a day and age in recruiting nowadays where the top of your recruiting class, the consensus dudes in the recruiting world, they come with dollars. They come with investment, meaning they're essentially gambles. They're like, we're going to put a bunch of money on this guy because we think he's going to be really, really good. And guess what? If they don't pan out, it will cripple you. It will cripple you financially nowadays. And look what they've done at the top of that 2024 class. I hate to take over the segment. Look at what they've done. Look at 2024. Look at the top 7 guys in the consensus rankings. Ellis Robinson, I told you, they think it's going to be a hit. It is a hit. Justin Williams, a hit. KJ Bolden, a hit. Chris Cole, a hit. The only guy who ain't shown promise yet is Nasir Johnson and Daniel Calhoun. We know JJA is going to be really, really good. They're hitting bombs right now at the really, really expensive portions of these classes.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of getting into the secondary list I put in this article of guys that could even play into that this year. Nasir Johnson, one that you mentioned, that guy could potentially get playing time this year, could by the end of the season be a guy that they're relying on. A guy that's kind of buried on the depth chart right now, but everybody loves him. Everybody thinks that he's going to be really good is Sokovie White. Everybody feels really good about what he's projecting to be in Georgia's wide receiver room. Dwight Phillips, you mentioned, Justice Green, Daniel Calhoun, despite the fact that he may not start for Georgia, that's still a really good football player that would start for Georgia if Juan Gaston didn't get onto campus this year potentially. Michael Unai, another guy in a similar category of Daniel Calhoun of could be a starter for Georgia and will get playing time this year likely when they rotate guys in.
I also think it's worth noting, and it might be on your list because I haven't seen your notes, of the 30 guys, 28 of them are still on the roster.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the only reason the other 2 are gone is because they couldn't keep their butt out of trouble behind the wheel. That's it. It's a really highly ranked Marquise Easley and Nitro Tuggle. Everybody else still on the roster developing, which is rare nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how much recruiting is important to a college football program. And it's not just recruiting well; it's keeping those recruits on your team when they might not necessarily be hitting the field. It looks like you're in good shape to do so. I also think that it's worth noting that we've looked back at past recruiting classes and gone through like long lists of being like, wow, well, you missed on this section, and this section is why this position group is so bad right now.
Oh my God, there were years where you struck out entire classes at safety. It's why it looks like it looks right now. There were years where it looked like it looked last year offensively because you went in 2021 and 2022 and basically didn't sign a playable offensive lineman for you. You signed 9 guys in those time periods. 2 of them are playable. Ernest Green and Drew Bobo. The rest of them ain't cracked the lineup. Like that does not it hasn't happened, at least in this class. This class seems to be, I'm not going to say all answers, but there's nobody I look at right now, I'm like, that guy is never playing at Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, it's a comforting factor. And, like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I did go back and look at the 2023 recruiting class for Georgia. I think it's like 8 guys that I deemed as, like, starters right now for Georgia. And the rest of the class is kind of like, don't really know about it yet. Not to say that it's a bad class, but just to kind of put it in perspective of what you have already done with the 2024 recruiting class, like how many hits you can already deem in that class.
And just to put it into perspective of what other schools are doing in the 2024 class. Like, for example, I think Oklahoma signed the 6th ranked class, and they only have, 8 guys that are like playing on their 2 deep right now at Oklahoma. All right, I went and looked at it. Right behind you was Alabama. Now, I think Alabama is put them off to the side because Nick Saban left and their whole roster went up in arms, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and poke fun at Alabama for losing Julian Sayin or Caleb Odom. Like, their head coach left. That's goofy. However, Ohio State finished 3rd in that 2024 signing class. You know how many sophomores are set to play for an Ohio State team that lost, 14 NFL football players from a year ago? 3. That's it. They had 3 sophomores set to play for them. We just rattled off a list where it's 10 guys, basically, from Georgia that might start this year for them. It's Jeremiah Smith, it's Edric Houston, and Jalen McClain's going to play for them at safety this year. But other than that, you got to go down those depth charts to find the answers being found in 2024. Oh, by the way, don't even give Oregon is like red flags right now with recruiting at the high school level. Like we talked about in the national hour, whether or not they're going to be able to hit on the portal additions. Guys, they've got 1 player from the 2024 class set to play for them this year, and it was a convert from linebacker to safety, my man Kingston Lopa. Other than that, like their highest ranked offensive tackles on an SEC roster, Arkansas, Jalen McCroy, the kid from Birmingham. Like it's gone whiff at Oregon, it seems like sometimes.
Yeah, that's really weird because, like, not to turn this into an Oregon segment, but we talk about how great of a recruiter Dan Lanning is, and he is. Like, he was a great recruiter at Georgia, and he's having success on the trail at Oregon. But I don't understand why these classes aren't like really panning out for him.
We've done the segment before. We've gone into real depth. It's a cause of concern,
very much
at
so.
this point. I mean, we're 3 or 4 cycles in, aren't we? And we don't have who's the best, his tight end right now? Number 18 is his best homegrown talent.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah.
We'll see. It's got to get better at that, and he knows that. I mean, they spend a lot of money on the recruiting trail. We talked about it. When you're missing at the top, you're losing dollars every single time it happens nowadays, and it can come back to bite you. It's why some of these rosters might be thin, right? It's not why. It's not a guess. It is why. So there's that. Any other thoughts on this recruiting segment you got for me?
I think it just serves as a reminder as how it's not just important to recruit good talent. It's important to be a good evaluator and recognize what talent's going to pan out for you. And the fact that Georgia's on track to do this with their 2024 class bodes very, very well for them.
I think, by the way, that's a shout to guys like James Ellis. That's a shout to guys like Will Myers.
Yeah.
Your scouting and development department at Georgia, that's who gets the tip of the cap for this immediate success. All right, when we talk about the success stories of Georgia, of like Jordan Davis or Ladd McConkey, that's like, hey, great diamond in the rough, great job developing them. But when it comes to this dude showed up and balled immediately, that's scouting and identifying the right players to take.
I think it's also admirable that We knew, like it's obvious to me that with the 2024 recruiting class that, and this isn't a surprise or anything like that, but Georgia staff knew what was about to happen at the end of that season. Of we got a bunch of old heads on this roster, we got a bunch of guys that are going to go to the NFL after 3 years. We have to make sure that we get guys in this class that are ready to play for us in year 2, and they've done exactly that.
Home run after home run. Now, it's We Up Wednesday. Now, this is going to be an annual thing. The first Wednesday before week 0, we just going to come in here and tell you why we up. All right, and Georgia is up big time this year for a lot of reasons. I got a top 10 list. I got a top 10 reasons of why Georgia is so up this year.
Do you have OLIs?
I have an OLI. I have an OLI and a list that's so important and so many reasons to be hyped that they're outside the top 10. They're in their own bubble over here, like an extra category. You want them?
Let's hear them.
My OLI. How about a get right season, a get back season? I'm pissed off season for Mike Bobo.
Ooh,
Mike
I like
Bobo
that.
pissed off.
Mike Bobo pissed off. I'm hunting. Hey, what did he tell us? What did he tell us when he came to the microphone at press availabilities? A little bit too conservative. A little bit too. Ain't conservative when you aggressive. Ain't too conservative when you pissed off. Mike Bobo pissed off this year. And not only that, he's got a quarterback that's been a sleeper agent for him since birth in Gunnar Stockton. Who's going to know how to utilize this guy more than the family that's been teaching him how to play football since he was 5? I'm with it. Number 10, you got the best linebacking core in the nation, bar none.
Ooh.
By a mile. By a mile. You got 4 NFL dudes. You got a problem finding out how you going to play all of them. Absolutely elite. And the best linebacker coach that football ever created in Glenn Schumann. Number 9, Chris Miller's in demon mode. Demon mode. And this ain't, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. All right. Kristen Miller, and I've talked about this on this network. Kristen Miller went from we might take you at Georgia, but if you want to go to USC, that's fine in August of his senior year, to by October, buddy, we got to have you. First 6 games of that senior year tape, go watch it. Kristen Miller, dominant. Absolutely dominant. A switch flipped. All right, and I've seen the same switch be flipped on 52 at Georgia this year. Kristen Miller in demon mode. Noah Thomas is a true X, not just one of them, 2 of them. Colby Young, guaranteed. A guaranteed winnable X. Throw him up a 50-50 ball in the red zone. You got it. You got it for the first time in a long time. You got not 1, but 2 of them. Number 7, the running game is back to the standard. All right? And I don't just think because they're telling me. I think because schematics tell me it's there. The film tells me it's there when I turn on Texas second half. The film tells me it's there when I turn on Notre Dame tape. The creases are being made by the idea and the thought that maybe this quarterback might be keeping the football. It's going to balance your running game, and they've made it a point of emphasis. And I'm telling you, when Kirby Smart makes a point of emphasis, it happens. It has always happened with this guy as the head football coach. Number 6, pardon my language, for the first time in a long time, you're a hungry-ass football team. You are a hungry-ass football team. You got dudes on your roster that have rings that ain't even theirs. They're not theirs. They didn't play. Oscar Dub did not play in those 2022 games. He did not make meaningful snaps except for the SEC championship game when Darnell Washington got hurt. I'm sorry, number 4. You get what I'm saying. You got guys on this roster that haven't won at the rate that they came to win at. That is a hungry football team. All right, number 5, you got all the games at home. All of them. All the games that matter this year, you got them at home. Come on down to town, Alabama. Come on down to town, Ole Miss. Come on down to town, Texas. All right, we'll go up to Knoxville. We'll go to Jordan-Hare. We'll worry about the voodoo when we get there. But we got all the big-time games at home. Number 4, not only are they at home, primetime night games in Sanford for them big ball games. Yes, sir. Talk to me. Get hype about it right now. Number 3, Nate Frazier's got the potential to be the next great Georgia back. I mean, we haven't said that since DeAndre Swift. I don't think we go into a year thinking Georgia's got one of the game records and difference makers potentially at the running back position. You got it now. Number 2, and I think this is vital for this team's success, KJ Bolden is a true alpha on this defense, okay? Not only is he back there making plays, but he back there chirping. He got a sense of attitude to this defense that I think has been missing. And number one, Gunnar Stockton is Georgia football. When I think of what it means to lead Georgia football, It is grit. It is doing things right. It is making good decisions, and it is playing like you ain't got another day tomorrow. Gunnar Stockton is Georgia football.
That's a strong list you got there.
I got more on top of this. I'm excited to see this team execute this year. I think they will.
Yes.
I got so sick and tired of watching it on tape. I turned the damn tape off late last year. I wasn't even going to watch it, except for I had to. I didn't want to. I was tired of watching lack of execution down to down from Georgia. It ain't going to happen this year. I got faith in it. I'm excited to see it.
You know, one of those random stats, but
A connected football team, guys. The football team is connected. They are one. They want to play hard for their leaders.
I mean, it's one of these random stats, but like when you hear it, you do kind of start thinking of like, this is a little interesting. Of a stat of quarterbacks that have played at Georgia that grew up in the state of Georgia have been your most successful quarterbacks.
Talk to me.
Like
He
since
is
Kirby's,
Georgia football.
Like Jake Fromm loved Georgia football. Stetson Bennett loved Georgia football. Gunnar Stockton loved Georgia football. Like when I hear Gunnar Stockton tell me at SEC Media Days, I'm at Georgia because it was my dream to play at this school. Like that's where I wanted to be, and that's where I wanted to commit and play football at. So that's why I'm here. Like those are the things that like take you back into like, oh, there's connections here. There's comparisons here.
I don't remember that 12 months he was committed to South Carolina. I don't at all. And the only reason he was there is because Mike Bobo. He's a sleeper cell. He's a Planet agent.
That is a very good point. I think another thing, and I don't want to be that guy to point it out, but the culture of this team heading into the 2025 season appears to be much, much better than heading into 2024. We've gone through, and we're 9 days out, so I feel like we can say it. The offseason of 2024 was hectic. It was arrest after legal disputes, after trouble, off field. We all know what happened. I'm not going to specifically name it, but there was a lot of issues happening off the field in 2024 of the offseason that have not been there in 2025. Now, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm knocking on wood, but this team feels like it has a much better culture. It feels like it's much more bought in to the team itself.
You know what I didn't hear? I didn't hear guys coming to the microphone going, well, I guess I got to be a leader this year.
Right.
We don't have none of that going on. We got a connected football team that we're about to cover this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's one of the examples where people talk about how Georgia's a very young football team. Kirby Smart has brought it up multiple times during the offseason. It's been a big talking point about how you lose a lot of old guys. You got to play a lot of young guys. We just talked about it with the 2024 recruiting class. A lot of those guys in year two are going to be playing for Georgia, but I think that builds into what you were mentioning of this is a very hungry football team. Like those guys weren't even around for the national title seasons. They weren't even around for those. Like they got an SEC ring now, but that's it. They don't have anything. They don't even have a playoff win to their name just yet. So you're getting that sense of urgency. You're getting that hunger back. You're getting that fire, passion, energy, all those things.
We went from a football coach that told us this spring that some guys get offended nowadays when you coach them to a guy 6 months later at the same microphone saying, this team lets me coach them. I am excited to be able to coach this football team. That, to me, sounds like a football coach that just got done coaching a football team that he couldn't seem to, for some reason, get to. And now we got this young, invigorated team that's ready to take these verbal lashings.
I was just about to say it. Kirby Smart seems more comfortable coaching this team this year. It felt, and we obviously hindsight's 2020, but looking back at it, I feel like Kirby Smart didn't really know how to handle this team. He had never, last year's team, he had never seen a roster that no matter what message you give them, no matter how many times you hammer it in their head, they just don't get it. And the way you delivered a message might also not be as well received. So I think Kirby Smart is much more comfortable coaching this team this year as well.
Look, here's the deal. We love all those guys that left and played. I mean, they left as the most winning senior class of all time, right?
For sure.
I mean, one of the best units to ever play at the University of Georgia as a senior class. That being said, a lot of those guys had been around for 5 or 6 years. And no matter how good or how coachable you are, eventually the loud coaching yelling at you just becomes the loud coaching yelling at you, right? There's a new fresh blood in this program, and you can hear it every single time a football coach comes to a microphone. It's not just Kirby. It's all of them. All of them have come to a man to the microphone and said, this team's getting coached. Like, we're healthy enough to get after it in camp. How about that, too? It's another reason to be excited about what is set to happen this year for Georgia. It's like, you guys have been healthy, and you guys have been practicing hard. All right? So that's good news.
No doubt about that.
We got to have some more. We got to have some more reasons to hype this football team up.
How about the fact that for the first time in probably about 3 years, you don't hear the I mean, it's Georgia, so they're just going to go all the way. They're going to do this. Like, you're being disrespected a lot. There is a lot of, I mean, Paul Feinbaum said on live television, is anyone even afraid of Georgia anymore? Like, it's been 2 years removed from a natty, and you've already got people being like, old news, they're washed, that type of thing. Like, and I know that we talk about how they don't hear the outside noise. I guarantee you Kirby Smart's using that as propaganda this offseason.
Knows how to use it in the right ways. Something that I mentioned in the National Hour, and I'll mention it again, you spent money at the wide receiver room, something that Georgia fans have been begging and pleading for as long as I can remember, it seems like. Since the 2019 season of please, 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 would you please spend some money at wide receiver? Why can't we go get a 5-star wide receiver? You maybe didn't get a 5-star wide receiver, but you spent money, and you spent money that it seems like is going to turn into a great investment for you down the road. And the class that you brought in this year, you brought in an SEC starter, Noah Thomas, who was great for Texas A&M last year, took over football games at times. You also brought in a Zachariah Branch from USC, who maybe the stats say to you that he didn't have a great year last year, but this guy is explosive. This guy can be a great asset for you, and it looks like he will be because he's going to start for you. So you saw a problem last season with the drops and how the wide receiver room didn't bang like you hoped it would. This year, you know that the wide receiver room, or you have a better feeling than I would say in years prior that this wide receiver room is actually going to produce for you.
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago and compared it to a quarterback on a rookie contract in the NFL. That's what you have. You have arguably the most playable and cheapest quarterback in the conference. Now, it might not be that next year. I don't know. If you had to bet, how much money would you bet that Gunnar Stockton does not have an agent?
I'd bet a lot of money.
I would too. If he balls this year, I don't know if that's the case next year.
Right.
Okay, next year you might have one of the more expensive quarterback rooms in the country, right? You got a 5-star freshman coming in. You're going to have a quarterback we assume is going to play this year and start next year. And if that's the case, he might be expensive or a little bit more expensive. So we have that window of a rookie quarterback contract. Time to go win with the assets that you have around him. There's no doubt.
Here's one of the main reasons why I think if you're a Georgia fan, you should be excited about this Georgia team. Number one, Kirby Smart is a problem solver. If there has been an issue on a roster with one season, it is almost always addressed in the next. We've never gone 2 years in a row where it's, man, they were bad at this last year and they're bad at it again, or they couldn't do this last year and they can't do it this year. Aside from the, beating Bama and all those things that people throw out there, but you lost to Bama for different reasons. You look back at the 2024 season, this is one of the most penalized Georgia teams. They're dropping the balls more than ever. The quarterback play hasn't been great. The defense is getting outrushed for the first time. Things are uncharacteristic all around, left and right. It's a horrible season. It's one of the most down years we've seen under Kirby Smart. And all of that, they won the SEC championship. They beat the number one team on the road. They were the 2 seed in the college football playoff. And you could argue that they were a quarterback win or quarterback getting injured win away from maybe making a deep run in the college football playoff. So you take all of that combined with the fact that a lot of the problems are going to have already been addressed and will be fixed in the 2025 season. Georgia's going to be a much better football team than it was last year, and they were really good last year.
Vibes are good.
Vibes are great. Only 3 true road games. I mean, it couldn't have broken better.
Oh, this is the one you dreamed about.
Yeah.
All those seasons where you're like, man, we get all the noon games. We don't get night games. We don't get prime time.
If you're a rich Georgia Bulldog fan, there is no better time to have good tickets. Now you're going to have to be rich because these games are going to be nuts.
There better not be a single post-game press conference where Kirby Smart has to call out the freaking fan base this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I know.
That better not happen. It'll happen. It won't be a game that matters. I know when it's gonna happen. Don't they play some slappy before
Charlotte?
Texas?
Or no, Charlotte's before Texas.
Charlotte's senior day.
Okay, so they don't have a slappy before Texas. All right, one of those games before one of those big games at home where they have a slappy at home prior to maybe the Alabama game before a bye week, whatever. Kirby's gonna come to the microphone and say it can't be like that next week. It can't be like that against Alabama. It can't be like that against Ole Miss. We have to show up. He's going to invigorate them somehow.
He definitely invigorates the fan base. He definitely says, before
you're going to challenge them,
leading up to
invigorate them.
Our fans, we need them to be loud this Saturday. We need them to make change the game for us. last year was the first season I've watched Kirby Smart pressers since 2016. That was the first year I've ever seen Kirby Smart come out and say, yeah, you know what? I was disappointed in the fans. They weren't that loud. And he's absolutely right. I believe it was the Auburn game where he said that. The fan base was quiet.
No, it was Mississippi State. And I remember Mississippi State, or people after the Mississippi State game being like, well, don't give up 30 to Mississippi State at home. And I'll, beat the team like I want you to beat them, or I expect you to beat them, and I'll cheer like you expect me to cheer.
Why can't we win by 50 every game? That was good. I said, why can't we win by 50 every game?
Dadgum, Dwayne Digsby with the biggest of super chubs on the night. Well, $49.99 from Dwayne Digsby says, here for these dog takes. Love it, man. Love the show. I don't believe my man Digsby's up on the board, is he?
We do not know.
I don't remember writing Dwayne Digsby on the board. That is a name I feel like my CTE brain would recall.
Yeah.
Let's put Dwayne on the board.
Let's do it.
If I can find
Easy now.
the pen. All right. Now, I know y'all can't hear me because I didn't bring my microphone over here. My man Dwayne Digsby. I'm digging it.
Pun intended.
I don't think they heard my pun, so it wasn't that punny.
That
All
was
right.
definitely intended.
By the way, looks like really the only opportunity Kirby Smart would have to do this for the schedule is Austin Peay. That's the first home game or the last home game before you have Alabama. Other than that, you get Kentucky or Kentucky before Ole Miss comes, I guess. That's a noon game, so maybe that one.
Oh, I forgot my
at
man
noon.
JC. I forgot my man Jacob Campbell. Both of my Friday Night Mic'd videographers are listening tonight, and I'm going to let y'all know, chat never gave, comments never gave Jacob any smoke for shaky camera work. Austin Mixon got to smoke all up in the comments this week. So I'm going to let you know, Austin, you're going to have to get better. You're going to have to get better. All right. Now, I did give him some new technology this week, so it should be a little bit better. We got him a stabilizer, so he might be able to figure it out. He might just need to taper down the caffeine absorption.
Yeah, from what I heard, that is
My man shooting games like this.
that is unfathomable. Holy hell!
So let's put Jacob Campbell up on the board before the night is over as well. But I'm excited about this next segment. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know how we explain this to the chat, how we explain this to our audience. But have you ever been sitting around, whether it be late night bonfire with the boys, and just damn, you know who was really good? That Chris Durham. Chris Durham sure was good. Chris Durham, 6'5", 200 pounds, out of Calhoun, a real Georgia boy, and was a deer in open field. So much so that he basically made a career out of it in the NFL when the wedge was a thing.
Yeah.
Was like a kickoff specialist for a decade in the league because he was just a menace. Chris Durham, damn good dog.
For sure.
What about some Brandon Cablano?
Ooh!
We always talk about some great Georgia offensive linemen, and you know what? He may have not had a lengthy career in the NFL, but Brandon Cablano was a solid offensive line starter for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Fun fact about Brandon Cablano. Did you notice that he snapped with both hands?
Yeah, I did notice that, actually.
I noticed it as a young cat, looking at it being wait a minute, whoa, I thought he was left-handed. And what he would do, guys, is depending on where the shade was, he would flip his hands, right? So if the shade was on his left side, he'd snap right-handed so he'd have the closest hand near him. It was the only guy I'd ever seen do it. It's brilliant. If you're talented and athletic enough to do it, do it. Brandon Cablano, damn good dog.
Definitely. Chris Conley is a name that does not get enough credit in the wide receiver room.
Are we saying Chris Conley's too good for this category?
I think he might be. He's
right,
one
fine.
of my all-time favorites.
He is one of mine, too. Fine. Joe Tarashinsky. I bet you all know that.
There we go.
The quarterback before Stafford.
Well, Joe T. Fun fact, Joe T's daddy, Mike T., strength and conditioning coordinator at the University of Georgia for a long time. Tarashinsky, the original Scott Sinclair.
I like that.
Oh, it's up to me.
It's your turn.
Man, that Quavon Hicks sure was fun to watch.
Ooh,
you know
the
what I
face
mean?
mask.
Quavon Hicks face mask make you go, bring the full back.
Out of the eye, Georgia running the football
Yes,
with Quavon
sir.
Hicks.
That run against Clemson in 2013 was so
Gosh.
much fun to watch.
Talk to me
Love
now.
me some
Talk to me
Quavon.
now. Hey, by the way, no chat peeking. No chat peeking.
Hey,
don't you be
list
cheating
is
with the chat
set.
tonight.
List is set. All right.
Don't worry.
List is set. Don't be cheating with the chat tonight. I know there's some ball knowers up in there.
All right, pre-show, you were talking about wide receivers that you don't even know some players. I hope to God you know who Michael Chigbu is.
Number 82.
Michael Chigbu. He may not have lit up the stat lines by any means, but there was a couple times throughout his career where if you needed a big play, Michael Chigbu was there.
Michael Chigbu is a name that Jonathan will only bring up on this network. That is a Michael Chigbu name. That is Hall of Namer, Jonathan Williams all day. I got a different 82. Who come on? You're next.
We're going back to the running back room here. J.J. Green came in to save the day in 2013, had a really, really good first year, ended up transferring to Georgia Tech, but one of your saving graces in 2013 when you lost Todd Gurley and Keith Marshall.
How does Michael Chigbu get a shout before Michael Bennett gets a shout?
I like me some Michael Bennett.
Come on, Michael Bennett.
Also flirted with the maybe too good to be on this list for me.
I mean, he didn't go for a rack though, and he is never listed as this in the great discussion at the wide receiver position. Give me some Michael Bennett.
I like that one.
All right.
We don't have a strike yet, by the way.
No, nobody has a strike yet.
Dang, this might last a while.
Oh, we're going to finish the show with this. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Jason Stanley.
Ooh,
you know some Jason Stanley?
Yeah, number 2.
Jason Stanley. Again, just kind of one of those, he was always out there. Maybe wasn't going to flash or surprise you by that much, but he filled a spot on the roster.
Never mind. I'm just too anxious to get my names off here. Go ahead.
All right, I'm staying in the running back room. I got a lot of running backs to list off here. Carlton Thomas, number 30. Little jitterbug. Played in 2011. Was 5'7", playing in the Georgia backfield. A lot of fun to watch. Does anyone remember Carlton Thomas?
Vaguely. I don't remember.
I got one for you. How about a 4-year starter? Red-haired bandit John Theus.
Yeah.
How about some John Theus, man? Friend of the show. Owns a local coffee shop down in Winder. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good for John Theus. Aaron Davis.
Ooh.
Oh, that's one of mine.
Yeah, Aaron Davis was in the secondary for a few years, was a starter for Georgia. I believe he was around that same time as Dominic Sanders and some of those guys.
Had a pick in his first game starting against Clemson in 2014.
So, yeah, I have some childhood memories of Aaron Davis playing in Georgia.
Dang, I thought Aaron Davis was a sneaky one. I'm surprised at that one. Sticking with red hair for Brooks, how about Rhett McGowan, number 27?
Oh, yeah.
Had a crucial third down conversion in 2013 against Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett McGowan also returned punts, I believe.
I was about to say,
I think
the
he did.
last non-drippy punt returner to happen at Georgia. Guy looked like a walk-on back there returning punts. Probably was. Was he a walk-on?
He was. He was a walk-on, actually. He was a former walk-on for Mark Richt.
Speaking of special teams bandits, how about a little Blake Sailors love?
No! You got Blake Sailors?
I got some Blake Sailors love in the chat right now. Yes,
Blake
sir.
Sailors is a good pull.
Yes, sir.
Blake Sailors is a very, very good
Blake
pull.
Sailors?
I know Blake Sailors. Ball knower right here. We're about to get exposed about this lack of Georgia ball knowledge here in just a minute.
No way, dude. I had that one on my list, and I was like, there's
Blake
no
Sailors
way.
pull right now.
All right. What you know about some Jawan Briscoe from the great state of Maryland?
Jawan Briscoe.
Yeah.
Crucial
Briscoe.
fumble recovery in the 2016 Missouri game.
Yes, he did.
I think that's the best play he made
probably
that season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Jawan Briscoe.
Long hair. All right. You know what? You're going special teams, Brooke. I'll go special teams, too. Billy Bennett. Who remembers that one?
Don't remember that one.
Nope.
Kicker for Georgia. Kicked the game-winning...
Might be bordering on too niche here.
Kicked the game-winning field goal for Georgia in 2002 against Alabama. Big name.
How about one of the most outspoken former Dog first-round draft picks on social media, George Foster? Talk to me now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Talk to me now.
This one is just... I don't even I think he had one contribution during his entire career at Georgia. It was like one of the first transfers I remember. Akil Crumpton was a wide receiver transfer at Georgia. Don't go looking up what he's doing now.
Yeah, what's he up to nowadays? How does
not playing football? I'll tell you that much. But Akil Crumpton, wide receiver transfer.
Yeah, he.
Who you got?
Let's just say Akil Crumpton was around. Oh, look who's looking at the chat now.
I'm sorry, it popped up. It's right there.
I'll say Akil Crumpton was around, and now someone else other than Akil Crumpton is no longer on this earth. That's the best way I can put it.
Not funny. I'm not laughing.
Sticking with people who had troubled off-field issues.
Man, what a great follow-up.
How about Jeremiah Holloman?
Oh, man.
Had a big game against Florida in 2018, but
Gosh.
How about a known on-campus cigarette smoker in the 2010s? Got it on firm authority, Isaiah Crowell.
Oh, really?
I had him on
Yeah.
my list.
Cigarette
Isaiah
smoker.
Crowell, fresh off of a massive performance. Buddy of mine kept him just ripping the heaters right outside of the football facility. Gotta love it. So Crow, man. So Crow.
For a guy where cardio is very important for you,
Just
smoking
ripping darts,
cigarettes,
brother.
that's
Just
crazy.
ripping
Come to
darts.
think of it, he tapped out of games a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say that
Yeah.
dude was tapping the helmet
He
quite
definitely
a bit.
did. My Marlboro goat, says the chat.
Yeah. Look, he's looking at Chad again.
Akeem Dent.
Oh,
For some reason
interior,
whatsoever, when I would play Madden as a kid, Akeem Dent was always somebody that I had to have on my football team and franchise.
love to see it.
Always had to have Akeem Dent.
All right, I guess I'll start going defensive players now. How about one of the best Georgia players to wear the collar, Marlo Herrera?
Yeah, baby.
Ooh, good shout.
Good Mike linebacker during
Shouts
the,
right there.
during the
Wore it
mark
late
right there.
too. Like wearing it like 2018 is a bold move.
It was more like 2012.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a Mark Richt guy, but
you're right.
still a very good
Wrote a
defensive-
book. You should read it.
Wrote a book. Played against this guy in high school, an absolute demon, Brendan Douglas.
Number 22.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had a critical fumble, but we'll look past that.
Had a critical flip against Missouri, too.
Yeah, big time.
That was the Chubb introduction game as well.
I once played him in high school. We watched him the week before. He had 52 carries with a cast on his hand. He had a hornet's nest playing wildcat quarterback. He was taking shotgun snaps with a cast on his hand.
Good.
Aquinas High School. Once had beer thrown on me in a high school football game in Aquinas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a names guy. This is a name, especially for what position he played. Give me some Tim Kimbrough. Tim Kimbrough at linebacker.
Yes, I remember.
Love
this
me
now.
some Tim Kimbrough.
No Jake Gaines shout yet? What's up?
You can't do. I mean, I'm saying Jake Gaines now, and that counts. It's on my list. So. Jake Gaines led the team in tackles in 2015, I believe. Was a
And
product,
led the team in first viral proposals on campus.
yeah, was a product of UAB shutting its football program down for a while. He's the reason that he was there. So, was that 2015 or 2016?
I don't know, but how about some Brandon Boykin love right about now?
That's too good.
Come on now.
That's too
Good.
good.
All right, that's my first strike. All right, we'll take a strike there.
Brandon
That's fine.
Boykin.
Go yeah.
Good. I'll try another one. How about some Boss Bailey action right about now?
All right, we'll let it slide. Yeah,
You know?
we'll let it slide.
As long as you don't say champ.
Another good wide receiver pool here. Jonathan Rumpf.
Oh,
Had a big
yes.
play against Tennessee. Yeah, Jonathan Rumpf was just one of those. He was a spot player at wide receiver. I thought he was pretty decent for what you needed from him.
I like that one. All right, this is the first player I remember consciously watching as a football fan. 2006 era. I don't know why I almost said Michael. Two from the Mark Richt teams. Running back Craig Lumpkin.
Ah, yeah, Craig Lumpkin.
Craig Lumpkin.
I remember Larry Munson saying his name on the radio a lot.
All right, we're getting thin on my list here. How about some Muhammad Massaquoi?
Also
Too good?
also getting up there.
Like Muhammad never went for more than 800 yards, did he?
But Brooks, that's like going for 1,000 at anywhere
He
else.
did. He did.
And he
All
played
right,
with
well,
AJ
guys,
Green.
I'm gonna go. Why don't you two just go ahead and battle it out? Because if you're not giving me Muhammad, you're definitely not giving me Tavares King. So just to hell with me.
Tavares King.
I'm out.
I would say Tavares King is more. I don't know. They're about the same level.
Don't crucify me, Georgia fans, for this one, but I got to do it. Josh Harvey Clemens.
He's on my list.
Josh Harvey
I
Clemens.
thought you were going. Was Trey Matthews ever enrolled?
Trey Matthews
Yeah, he
is
was.
also.
I thought you were going that way.
Trey
No.
Matthews is also on my list, so I'll take that.
Yeah,
right there.
Josh Harvey Clemens, known for a very infamous moment in Georgia
Him
football
and Trey
history.
Matthews. And then
Yes.
Trey Matthews had the audacity to intercept a Terry Godwin pass in 2016.
Old Trigger Trey.
Trigger Trey. What an interesting nickname. Are they the two most, hated Georgia players?
Probably.
Like, if you
They're
say
not very
those names,
liked.
to the right Georgia fans, they get triggered.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right, let's stick with defense. This guy had an amazing name. Ramik the Freak Wilson.
Yeah. I liked Ramik. Well, all right, I'll stick with you at that position. This guy, I think, had a better nickname than that guy, or my dad may have just came up with this on his own. I don't know. Ray Drew. My dad called him the pastor of disaster because his dad was a pastor, and so they
Wasn't Ray Drew a punter?
No,
Ray Drew was an interior defensive lineman, I believe.
He's a linebacker, I'm pretty sure.
We're number 47, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to say he was an interior defensive lineman. I think we got AI.
I don't know, but
I got one for you.
Dad called him
The last Georgia football player to play both ways at the University of Georgia, Melvin Crook.
Interesting.
There you go.
There you go. Look at you go. Oh, AI?
My boy Ray was a defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. All right, so I remembered correctly. All right, how about this? The main reason that the visor was invented, in my opinion, Washawn Ely.
Well, Sean Alexander wore the first visor, but yeah.
You don't know the Washawn Ely.
He got his eyes poked out by Brandon Spikes. Come on, dog.
Yeah, that's a...
All right, I asked Kirby about this one pre-show. He didn't remember him very much, so I want to know if anybody in chat does. Micaiah Tongue.
Oh, yeah. Do you know Micaiah Tongue is playing middle linebacker at Oregon State right now?
Yes, was.
Oh, is he no longer on the roster?
I know that in his redshirt senior year, he did not play.
I have it on good authority that he was on the roster this spring.
Okay. All right. So maybe there was...
Maybe. Just know for a fact.
Okay. Well, Micaiah Tongue's still playing football.
I know a friend who might have seen him and had a conversation with him.
A 6'2" wide receiver that went to Georgia, then transferred to Oregon State, and as Brooks mentioned, is now playing linebacker at Oregon State.
Yeah, he's about 240 pounds now.
Man.
Yeah.
That's frightening to think about.
Is it my turn or is it your turn?
I just went, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with another running back here. The hero of the 2009 Georgia Tech game, Caleb King.
Caleb King, good pull right there. How about some Jay Rome? A lot of, people want to talk about some old tight ends like Jeb Blazevich or I'm blanking on some of my own.
Arthur Lynch.
Arthur Lynch.
See, I had that name ready.
That
Understandable.
Yeah, we did mention another one.
But yeah, Jay Rome.
Questionable past.
Yeah.
I think Jay Rome is the more forgotten tight end during that era.
Chat's been trying to throw Orson Charles at us. Too good.
Yeah, too good.
Too good. We're looking for random obscure names that go, oh, yeah.
All right, here's one I want to float out. Is Sean Bailey too good of a name?
Probably.
Sean Bailey too good of a name? All right, I'll take that one off.
One strike?
Do I get a strike for that?
I mean, honestly, he gave me Malcolm Mitchell like within 2 minutes of this segment, and we didn't give him a strike. So that should
I never said Malcolm Mitchell.
Or who'd you say? You said like a Chris Conley.
You did say Chris Conley.
Come on, man.
Chris Conley was
a little too good for this.
Chris Conley was one of my favorite players. All right, Richard Samuel, hero of the 2011 Florida game, or 2010 Florida game, actually.
This is digging really deep. The only reason why I really remember this player is I remember my dad talking about him in one of the off seasons as like, this guy might be the next one at running back. He was not, by the way. I'm sorry to out you, Pops, but AJ Turman was just a depth piece at running back.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Never really got some playing time. I think he had a garbage time touchdown against like App State, but one of those just like got buried on the depth chart, never really played.
All right. Not the last number 14, but one of the follow-ups to Aaron Murray, Hudson Mason.
All right.
What, is that too good? Is Hudson Mason too good of a name?
I think Hudson's like great radio.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still doing radio.
We'll keep pushing because I want to make sure I get to all my names. Another. All right, I'll go back into the wide receiver room. Rentavious Wooten.
Oh, yeah.
Real
Shout
speed demon.
Number 7. Wasn't he the one who had the game-tying touchdown against Tennessee in 2015?
Yes.
Huge game. All right, Isaiah Wynn. I'm dipping into the O-line here.
Okay. I like Isaiah Wynn. Tyreek.
That's just, come on. No more. He played 2017 and on. All right, because I would have wiped y'all if that was the case.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, he would have.
I would have shot a Clay Webb 10 minutes ago.
He would have.
From the mountaintops.
Yeah, and I would have shot a Tyreek McGee right back.
I was about to say Tyreek McGee.
I would have said Devon Wilson right at you.
Okay, right. Bretton Cox.
I'll skip Tyreek McGee and give y'all a deep pull. A deep pull right here. Ended up being
from the depths.
Ended up being a starter for Iowa State. Jacob Park.
Ooh.
A quarterback recruit that never even played, but then ended up being the starting quarterback at Iowa State. Jacob Park.
All right. The guy before the guy, no Sean Marino, Thomas Brown. Very, very solid running back for Georgia. Number 20.
I feel like Thomas had a better pro career than he did
Coached the
college.
running backs for Georgia for a while, I believe.
That's why I'm
was
thinking
part of the
pro career.
recruitment for Elijah Holyfield.
He's a pro running backs coach right now.
Yeah, he was on the Panthers for a while.
Well, no, he was with the Rams and then got the interim job with the Panthers recently after the rule thing, I think.
That's right. That's right.
But he's one of these guys that's always interviewing for NFL head coaching jobs but never gets them. It's weird.
Justin Scott Wesley. A massive play in 2013 against the South Carolina.
We're getting
It's
close.
getting close, but I will give it to him because
Also
Justin
to like
Scott.
repeatables. Have we not repeated yet?
Nope.
No.
Man, you guys are good at this.
Justin Scott Wesley, I'll give to you because he never really had a career that panned out. It was a great moment.
Had a great moment against it in 2013 against South Carolina.
that
Put Georgia up
Tennessee
2
game.
scores.
And to LSU.
Isaac Nada's too good, chat.
No, he's
Too
not.
good, too well known.
No, he's not. I
Yeah, he is.
just try to stay away from
Now,
him.
Chat's been hitting on one name that I'm surprised has not gotten thrown up in here yet.
Okay.
I
Let's
haven't been
continue.
looking.
Are you out?
No, I'm not out.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to go back in the defense. Can I say Dominic Sanders?
Sure, go
I
ahead.
mean, that's your guy. I don't think anyone's ever read the name off or said the name off on the internet more than you of Dominic Sanders. That's your guy.
I'll give you
I
another
enjoyed
guy
it.
from the secondary that I think is more forgotten. Quincy Mauger. Or Majay.
Majay.
Change the pronunciation of the last name.
Who?
Oh, okay. You
Number
ever
20.
watched one of those college football
That helps.
biggest hits highlights videos?
Yeah.
And there's a video of a Georgia player deleting a South Carolina player?
Nope.
That's Quincy Mauger.
That's Quincy.
It's in a lot of those videos.
Okay, I got to go pay attention to
Play
those
with
a
his
little bit
cousin. He went to Kell, I believe. All right, I'll go with another safety here.
more. Useless.
What?
That add-in right there.
Hey,
Go
Georgia
ahead.
guy.
What, I
Georgia
can't-
grown.
All right, I'll stay with safety. Sanders
Saw him at a
Cummings.
Kroger one time.
That is not the same as naming the high school that the player went to.
I played with his third cousin one time in the backyard.
He's just mad he's out.
I
He
am.
is just
I'm
mad.
just jealous.
He's salty and he's trying to hate
I
on us.
am.
You can't
I
hate
am.
from outside the club, bro.
All right, going back to that era.
Matter of fact, I'm staying camera 4 now. Sanders Cummings had a big pick in the 2012 game against Florida before the second half.
All right, dipping back into that secondary era of Josh Harvey Clemens and those boys. Shaq Wiggins.
Oh, that's
Ended
one
up
of
playing
mine.
at Louisville.
Dang. Played at Tennessee as well.
Yeah, played at Tennessee as well.
Followed Todd Grantham over to Louisville and then ended up at Tennessee.
Is Musa Smith too good for this?
Musa Smith was pretty good. I didn't watch him.
I like Musa Smith.
He's a very good running back. I mean,
That's the one Chat keeps throwing at me. Where I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
Musa Smith.
Yeah,
ball.
Musa Smith, a good one.
Musa Smith was a good one.
I would approve of that one.
I think I'd approve of that one too. How about this one? Tim Jennings, big pick 6 in the 2005 LSU SEC
It's
championship.
a Tim Jennings.
I just got to think for wide receivers, I really didn't do a whole lot at Georgia. Give me some Kenneth Towns.
Kenneth Towns is a good one. Kenneth Towns is a very good one. All right, let's go back into the special teams realm just a little sprinkle on it. Blair Walsh, iconic for a bad reason for his pro career, but
Blair Walsh is way too good to be on this list.
when's the last time you thought about Blair Walsh?
Every time he gets in trouble for saying women shouldn't vote, is that him or is that Harrison Bucker?
See, bro doesn't even know. Bro doesn't even know who Blair Walsh is. The name stands.
infamous guy that missed the field goal for the Minnesota Vikings.
That's him. The double doink. That's Blair Walsh.
No, that's
right?
also not Blair Walsh. See,
That's Parkey.
Thank you for making my point for me, for being like, no, I know who Blair Walsh
I
is.
just wanted to ant loud enough to get camera one.
Blair
or two
Walsh,
back
though,
over
was a
here.
really good kicker for Georgia.
was a really
Thank
good
you.
kicker.
Number 57 won the game against Arizona State. That was sad.
All right.
Needed a game-winning field goal against Arizona
Backyard
State.
games. I know what you're doing right now in the chat, and as a 2000s hip hop R&B fanatic, I appreciate your consistent comments of Mike Jones.
Shout out Mike Jones.
Who?
Oh, all right. I'm giving this guy a shout out because I thought he was a good football player at Georgia. Also from the home county, Hall County, played at East Hall. Sterling Bailey.
I think this is the most active I've ever seen our chat. Like they're just throwing names.
Look, it's the Saturday with the
Throwing
boys segment.
names.
Everybody's like, "This is what I've been
Saturday with the
living
boys
for."
right here, man. This is just spitting ball knowledge right here.
I think this is one of the more underrated safeties of the Mark Richt era. Guy was absolutely nasty. Sean Williams, number 36.
Yeah.
Absolutely knocked a guy out in 2012 against Florida.
So the line in that safety room of too good would be Bakari, Rambo.
Yeah, I left
But
Bakari
we'll give
Rambo.
Sean Williams a pass here.
I think
that's fair.
Sean Williams is
think
a
it's fair.
character guy.
I think it's fair.
At this point, I got 4 more names and I haven't had a strike, so that's just all I'm saying. All right, Ryan Rankin. All I gotta say, Ryan Rankin.
Oh, R-Y-N-E. I remember this one. What did he play again?
I honestly couldn't even tell you, to be honest, but I remember the name, Ryan Rankin.
All right.
Hall of Namer over there. Can't even tell you what he played, how he played, whether or not he was
Don't worry,
good.
I got another Hall of Namer.
Hall of Name, though.
I got another Hall of Namer coming up.
All right, how about this one? Malcolm Parrish, game-winning interception against Tech in 2014, number 14. Actually played on Kirby Smart's 2017 Natty team.
Don't remember him being very loved at the end of his career.
No, I think he and Dominic Sanders had a crucial mistake, and I don't remember what game it was, but
how about some David Marshall? Again, kind of towing the line between that crossover year, but David Marshall, I thought he was a pretty serviceable football player for you.
Followed closely by Malik Herring.
Oh, damn, we made it to 10. You want to just rattle them off?
I got two more.
Go ahead and rattle yours off.
All right. Tyler Catalina. I thought that was going to
Shout
get
out.
mentioned.
It's the Catalina wine mixer.
You dang right. And then here's the Hall of Namer right here. Rashad Roundtree.
Great one. Great one. I had 3 special teams guys. Drew Butler, Cameron Nizelek, Marshall Morgan, and
Cameron Nizelek.
my ace in the hole, my desperation in case anything went wrong. Bruce Figgins. Tight end.
I don't even know who that is.
Played tight end, had a touchdown against Auburn in 2011. You can go watch it. He played for Georgia.
No shouts for Xander Ogletree.
Nah.
Felt too close to Alex.
I just know this is what I love about this segment is the people who listen on podcasts are going to be sitting in their car tomorrow morning listening to this, and they're going to be screaming the whole time a name that they're just thinking about.
Waiting for us
Say
to
it!
hit.
Come on! How has
his
nobody
name.
said it?
You say his name. Do we have nostalgic tape while we've been super nostalgic right now? Did we find some?
Yes, let me get it pulled up.
All right, let's get nostalgic tape pulled up, and we will end the local hour with that. Chat's got some good ones. Mo Smith got mentioned several times. Somebody said we missed Chuka Amici, Chuck Amici. I don't know.
I remember that name. I couldn't tell you what he played or what number he was.
Oh, we must have first of all, if you have a nickname of Mudcat, you had to have played in the 70s. Marquise Mudcat Elmore, that can't be a real
Sounds like an 80s player.
That can't be a real football player. You have to be trolling me, right? Is that a legend? Am I not knowing ball right now?
I remember the name Mudcat.
Is?
I mean, I didn't watch it. I can tell you that. I tried to stay within the realm of players that I watched.
Oh, here we go.
We got it.
Yeah, it just took me a minute.
Quick hint for you. This player was named on our list.
Don't look.
What'd you say, Kirby?
I said a quick hint for you. This player was named on our list.
All right, here you go.
All right. Let's go watch some ball. Oh, my Lord. That is some jetting right now. Holy smokes.
The whole line is on the ground.
All right, here we go.
Cut blocks.
All right, we're wearing number 1. Oh, my Lord, the sudden see. We had to have blown a knee out at some point in college, by the way. Oh, my bad. I cheated.
Great.
Yeah, no, I would have never gotten this, by the way. I'm going to tell you right now, I would have never gotten it. Eventually, I would have figured out that looks like Carver Columbus, and I might have picked out Isaiah Crowell. But this is going to be fun either way. This was the highest rated back in America, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hyped up when he came in 2011. And rightfully, I mean, he lived up to it until,
Why did it go south?
Oh, we got kicked off the team.
For what? Was this the time period where Mark Richt would just kick you off for smoking weed?
I think so, but I think he had been suspended in the season as well.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, man. Like this has nothing to do with Mark. This has everything to do with how the world's changed. Honestly, I'll never forget going on a tour through their athletic training facilities when I was in high school. It was some Mark Richt end of his era type of deal, and we would go in there and it's like 2009, 2010, maybe 2011, and the athletic trainer was very, very open and proud about how Georgia had the sternest street drug policy, in-house policy in all of college football. How they were extremely proud that if you ever smoked weed on their campus, you were going to get suspended. And you saw it. I mean, it cost them a lot during his time period. Now, that was a moralistic thing, I would imagine. They believe that we ain't out here doing that.
He stayed 10 toes down on those things.
He did. He absolutely stayed 10 toes down.
Isaiah was the number 1 ranked national runner.
Isaiah was the number 1 ranked.
Had a little run with the
high
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, dude, it worked out still.
He went
Even
to
after the Alabama State thing.
Yeah.
I remember it working out in the league because this is when I was playing fantasy. This was a big time late addition in the fantasy world.
Yep, waiver pickup.
Yeah, waiver wire. Won you a couple leagues.
He's the reason the Browns beat the Falcons one year, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. By the way, I went to a Carver practice. I still think they wear those jerseys.
Damn. I mean, this tape's 15 years old.
You know who the head football coach here is now, don't you?
Yeah, it's Jarvis.
Jarvis Jones is the head football coach at Carver Columbus down there. His alma mater as well. I mean, that school has pumped out some damn good dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Some really, really good, important football players during their time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our Wednesday show for the night. We will be back tomorrow. I'm going to get out of here with my Oompa Loompa ass.